All right, welcome in once again, Lings, Queens, Medics, and Marines. I'm AC, that's Red Mage JR, and this is the IG Omega Divisional number 8, brought to you by itsgosu.com. The big boys are out tonight, Red Mage, and I'm looking forward to some good action.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be pretty hot. We're going to be starting off tonight with One's WBC and Complexity's RSVP. Such a good starting point right here. We're picking it up in the round of 8. Unbelievable. We've of course had the last couple of days off because of we had such a heavy weekend with the LAN event there at Cybergrounds. Looking forward to yet another one this Saturday. I mean, we can't get enough StarCraft action, AC.
Oh, no, of course, the LAN event a great success, and we've got another one going on this week, actually. This weekend on Saturday. Make sure you tune into us right around then. Going to have some of the same players who competed in last week's, including returning champion Revolution, a guy who just literally tore through the field on his way to that victory and locking down more than a couple $100 in prize money. So really looking forward to that. But tonight, Omega Divisional number 8, brought to you by itsgosu.com, and of course brought to you by Hypocrite Games, Cyberground.us, Max Integration, and Sanya Mabushu Jujutsu and Combination Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. You can find info on them on sanyamabushi-goju.com. But the other thing going on tonight, we're giving away some prizes, are we not?
We sure are, absolutely. We're going to do what we normally do, AC. We're going to do our little referencing of all kinds of movies and things like that, and we're going to be giving away some of those special edition Magic cards tonight. If you can guess 3 of the movies that AC and I talked about, and of course we won't mention them by name, so if you hear us mention the name of a movie, that's not going to count, but you're gonna try to figure out what at least 3 of the movies are, and you're going to go to you're going to email us at contest@itsgosu.com. And you're going to tell us the 3 movies, and of course, we want to know what your Justin TV tag is, so that way we can go ahead and give you credit on stream and things like that. But that's how we're going to be giving these things away. So, if you need any of the rules, breakdowns, and things like that, you go to itsgosu.com or our Reddit account there, and check out what exactly we're doing. But we want to give away these great little Magic cards. And, of course, get into the games here so we can go ahead and start referencing those movies, AC.
Oh, yeah. So make sure, guys, you hit follow on our stream if you're hearing our wonderful voice. And then just listen in, and as soon as you think you've identified 3 movies we've referenced, just pop that email to contest@itsgosu.com. And we'll be getting in touch with 2 random winners. A winner's going to be chosen at random at the end of the night. So it's not like the first 2 to get them in. Doesn't matter if you get them in now or if you get them in 2 hours from now. Doesn't matter. Going to be chosen at random. And those are worth about $15 a pop. So best of luck to everyone. But it looks like we're about ready to get started on our first matchup here on IC Cup Test Bug. Going to be Call RSVP taking on 1 WBC. And just 2 really outstanding players. 2 players that we know are going to be at MLG Columbus. And players that we know pretty well, that we're pretty good friends with. So it should be a hell of a good matchup.
Oh, yeah, and also one more thing is the cutoff time for those emails is 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time there, guys. So we're going to give you guys enough time to watch the VODs if you want to go back and rewatch them and try to figure out those movies. And then, of course, we want to make sure that everybody on the West Coast has an opportunity to participate as well. So that's why we give you the 3 a.m. time slot there. So just make sure that all of your anything after 3 o'clock, we won't consider, but then we'll randomly pick 2 people that have the correct answers in there, and we're gonna, like AC said, we're gonna give you a contact, and you'll win some free Magic cards, and that's always kind of cool. And that's of course brought to you by our brand new martial arts sponsor. So because I can't say the name fast enough, AC, that's why I leave it up to you, buddy.
Sanya Mabushu. See, I can't say it unless I can read it. It's like I can never pull it out from memory, but it's Sanya Mabushu, combination Goju Ryu School of something like that. Jujutsu and combination Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. That's it. So
wow, you're even without reading it, that's still pretty solid, man. I gotta give you some super credit on that, considering we said it for a couple of days,
Oh, you know how it is. You commit it to memory. You kind of have to because they're the guys paying the bills and keeping the lights on. So we do what we can do. But anyway, 1 WBC going to be spawning, and call it that. It's kind of hard to give numerical assignments to the positions on this map. I love Test Bug though. It's just we've got 1 WBC up in the national park area of Test Bug here, the green side of the map, roughly that 11 o'clock position, and RSVP going to be down in the south, down on that space platform. platform, hanging off the edge of the universe here, and both probes scouting down and scouting around, so it looks like it's only going to be a few moments before we find each other, but a little bit of PvP action. We see an early Forge now out of WBC, and we've seen WBC play enough to know he absolutely loves more than anything to cannon rush. It's cheesy and it drives his opponents insane, but especially in a best of 3 or best of 5, he has no problem dropping down that early pylon, as we see he's done now, right beside that ramp here leading into RSVP's base.
Oh yeah, he is good to go with that. That's his almost trademark trick right there at that point. With a PvP like this, RSVP is not gonna really appreciate that once he finds that. As soon as he moves a probe out there to discover that kind of a thing, we could easily see something going on. Now we see that
probe's going to spot that forge.
Have,
he's already spotted that forge, so he says that's a wall. What? Oh, I guess WBC walled himself in and didn't mean to, so he's kind of screwed now. But it looks like RSVP was able to spot the forge even earlier, so quick to react. The probe's going to work, but they're not going to be able to drop these pylons nearly quick enough just because they're not going to be able to get a good surround on them. So kind of going to come down to just a little bit of crisis management versus micromanagement for WBC. He's going to have to keep those probes alive, and at the same time RSVP is going to have to try and not set himself too far back behind. He can't pull every probe he has, otherwise he's sacrificing himself and isn't going to be able to deal with it nearly as effectively once these first cannons and these first pylons finish. And now one cannon's done behind the mineral line, going to start going to work on the Nexus. The second finishes over on the edge, and we see, wow, RSVP just says, screw it, I'll just build a new base. No problem here, bro.
That's right there, and that's actually a pretty defensible position right there, because you only have 2 access ramps up there. It's a little bit harder to get something up there so you can get up into that vision area. Now with the reduced distance of those pylons, it's going to be a little bit harder to get that right into the base. Really on that southeastern part of the ramp right there is about the only place you'll be able to get right into the base. But this is actually a pretty smart move here by RSVP, trying to make sure he can keep his probes alive and just kind of sack that Nexus, because that's about all you can do at this point. And WBC just has to kind of sacrifice that one probe, and he just kind of wasted, not really wasted because he did kind of move offset RSVP just enough, but. Now you see that probe is trying to take down his only pylon there so he can get out, but that's a whole lot of photon cannons that he's just kind of putting out there right now.
The lost mining time there for RSVP. I mean, it's right now he is getting the probes back on, so he's not going to be like super far, may as well GG behind. But he's it's going to be a cumulative effect. RSVP's got one zealot out. He's going to try and use to defend, and right now, if you're WBC, you have to consider that a roaring success. You have to go, okay, I haven't. Yeah, WBC says that was crazy, sir, down there in the chat. So. But
you're so crazy.
But good reaction time by RSVP there. Didn't try to do too much. He didn't basically throw away all of his probes, trying to just bum rush 1 or 2 of the cannons when he knew there were more on the way. So he's behind, but he's not super like I can't come back and win the game behind. He's going to have to work his tail off, and he's going to need a little bit of luck, but he's not completely out of things quite yet.
Absolutely not, but he is going to be supply blocked here momentarily until that once that pylon drops. But of course, he's building that other pylon right now, so he should be right back to where he is now. But that's always a dangerous situation. Of course, he's losing that gateway. So he did throw down the gateway. The cybernetic score is throwing down yet another gateway. He's kind of walling himself in right there to keep those probes safe for the most part, which is probably a smart thing to do, because if anything, WBC's got a perfect opportunity to put a lot of pressure on RSVP right now. With him just having that single zealot right now, he's trying to get out that warp gate tech right now. Chrono boosting that out as fast as it can. WBC crank it out more and more. He's got that Twilight Council, so he can get those blink stalkers.
I like that he's not right now. The temptation has got to be, okay, let me just throw down 4 warp gates and all in, because I know he's behind. I want to go ahead and all in and end things now. And it's not that that's a bad maneuver, so to speak, but it's very one-sided. It's not very stable. There's a possibility that you could flub it. And instead, I like this. Getting up the Twilight Council going, that's fine. I don't care to wait another 5 or 6 minutes to try and secure a win here. I'm going to get straight up the blink. I'm not going to overthink things. I'm not going to overrush things. I did the cannon rush. It was a big-time success. Now I'm just going to do a play that I would be doing if I hadn't cannon rushed. So good call there. by WBC. And as we see out of RSVP, he's actually got 4 warp gates down himself. So that's a bit, I wouldn't call it an overreaction. It's kind of necessary because he knows he's far behind. He's got to try to get up some sort of a standing force to deal with any kind of incoming pressure. But, this is not an economical thing for him to be doing right now. This is not something that's going to give him a lot of options moving into the mid-game.
Oh, yeah, RSVP was trying to take out that forward pylon there by WBC, but WBC coming in with those stalkers right now and causing RSVP to GG. So great game there.
GG out of RSVP. And WBC using that cannon rush to great effect. So this best-of-3 series is going to end pretty quickly, well, at least the first game, with WBC securing that win off a little bit of cheese.
Yeah, just a little bit, but I think that was a great game right there. So we'll he wants Xel'Naga. Nice, he's going to go right to Xel'Naga. Oh yeah, that's crazy how things like that.
That's how it was at the LAN last weekend too. Everybody in the world, Xel'Naga Caverns or Metalopolis, just like always. Thanks for joining us in the stream, by the way. I'm AC, that's Red Mage JR, and this is the Omega Divisional number 8, brought to you by itsgosu.com, and brought to you, of course, by our sponsors, Hypocrite Games, Cyberground.us, Max Integration, and San Yamabushi Jujutsu and Combination Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. You can find info on them at sanyamabushi-goju.com. So the big news tonight, other than great StarCraft action, is the fact that we're giving away, this is our inaugural night of giving away what amounts to more than $1,000 in Magic cards. That's right. If you're joining us right now, the contest rules are thus. Red Mage and I are going to, throughout the evening, be making movie references, that kind of thing, and all we're asking out of you is to do 2 things. One, you have to hit follow on Justin TV. Just hit the follow link right below the stream. And then once you've identified 3 movies that we have referenced throughout the evening, just send an email to contest@itsgosu.com. Make sure you include in that email the 3 movies you believe we referenced, and as well as your Justin.tv handle or nickname or screen name or however you want to say it, because we need to double check that you have indeed followed us and are one of our loyal followers. But we're going to select 2 winners at random as to who are going to receive the cards. You'll be contacted, and we'll get your mailing info, and we'll mail those out. We're going to be giving away 2 packs of the cards this evening. I'll let Red Mage tell you a little bit about that. But yeah, we're giving away. It's going to be super fun time. So while we get into the game here, Red Mage, go ahead and tell them just briefly about those packs of cards.
Yeah, those cards are actually part of the Special Edition Planeswalker series. They were given out at the 2000, or I'm sorry, not even given out. You had to purchase them at the 2010 New York Comic Convention. I keep wanting to call it Comic-Con yet again. Comic Convention up in New York last year. So if you're a big fan of the Magic Planeswalker series, and who isn't, these are pretty cool little packs. You can get the standard packs, on the store shelves, that kind of thing. But these are the special edition because they're strictly just the boxes wrapped in the plastic. They don't have the little cardboard hanging tags or any of that stuff on there. They're literally they just have just the pictures on them, and it's good to go. So they're pretty slick actually. So if you're a big fan, and I know I was talking to some people this past weekend about Magic cards and things like that, just to find out a little bit more, and they were super excited to know that we were giving these little suckers away.
RSVP's giving WBC a taste of his own medicine. That first pylon down at the bottom of the ramp, and now the gateway being built, and that gateway is going to be ahead of WBC's. WBC going to react with a forge. It looks like he wants to cannon himself in. A little cheese for cheese, tit for tat action here, my friend.
Oh yeah, this is great, job here by RSV. If you can do it, I can do it better. Just one of those things. They're gonna have a little sing off thing going on. It's awesome when you get into things like that, and you just see that the WBC just chasing around RSVP there with those 2 probes, going back and forth at one another, and that forge, of course, is going to finish faster than the gateway almost. But we're going to see if RSV can pull out any units here. He is chrono boosting out that single zealot right now, and then we have 2 cannons, or a cannon coming down at the moment.
Right.
And that forward pylon.
This is actually just a beautiful reaction by WBC. It really shows. This is how you can tell someone knows the game. And yes, you could just commit to memory. If you're watching the stream, you're going to go, oh, okay. Next time I get Proxy Gateway, I'm just going to make sure that I go ahead and react with the Forge. But he knew that Forge would finish first. In comes the Zealot. The Probe's going to get the good surround, so he's going to lose a couple probes. This Zealot actually, great micro there. He's pulled, oh wow, he managed to drop that Zealot without losing a single probe, pulling him back just as they got down into the orange and the red health. Amazing play out of there by WBC, and right now RSVP's in a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right about that, AC. You know, we see WBC now starting to complete his little wall in right there. He's going to throw in that gateway right up front. He's got a forward cannon right there. That'll easily be able to take out that gateway and the pylon. And, you know, RSVP being smart, you know, starting to pull those units farther and farther away from the front of the gate there. Keep them out of that cannon fire. So, but yeah, he's definitely going to lose these two buildings. That's easily going to set him back quite a bit.
Well, WBC tried to give him a little cheese even back in his face, dropping a pylon down at the bottom of RSVP's ramp. Looks like RSVP's going to handle that just in time. No problem pulling probes to make sure he takes that down. But once again, RSVP way behind. Not so behind that he doesn't have any chance, but unless he does something pretty amazing here, he's going to be way behind to the point he's not going to be able to bounce back. So WBC does drop another pylon there behind the mineral line, but loses the probe in the process. Another probe coming in now, though, and that one Zealot not going to be enough to really chase him, so really important for RSVP. And now the cannon, nope, just another pylon, actually. That's surprising to me. He got the pylon
I don't know if that was a misclick or what. I want to think that was a misclick.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. He knows the Zealot was behind him, and he just kind of walled himself in. The cybernetics core is already up, but he would have had time to maybe get one up before the first Stalker came in. But either way, he probably should have just canceled that pylon and transitioned. Either way, WBC in great shape now as his opponent is blocked, and now WBC dropping down 3 more warp gates, so a 4 warp gate rushing coming.
Oh yeah, you know, and don't forget, guys, you know, make sure that you follow us on Justin TV so you can qualify for us giving away all these magic cards that you're there. Of course, you know, anytime you hear that you know, AC and I are reference a movie of any kind, you know, make sure you write that down, because you need 3 of them in order to win those Planeswalker, those special edition Planeswalker cards there from Magic the Gathering, and that way, you know, you need to submit your requests, or not requests, but your guesses to contest at itsgosu.com.
Right.
And make sure you reference all 3 of those movies, and make sure you put in your little Justin TV nickname there, so we can just make sure that we verify that you are a Justin TV follower.
RSVP bouncing back. He dropped down a proxy pylon right there in the natural mineral line of WBC. Now he's got, wow, that's actually a decent amount of Stalkers. And warp gate research nowhere near done right now for WBC, so he's going to have to try and hold this as best he can. The Zealot leads the way, and we see RSVP trying to target down the pylon. Looks like the probes are going to have to come out to try and get involved. That one Stalker tried to be micro back, didn't quite work out. Now the gateway shut down, and WBC, this is really what RSVP needs to do to try and get back in this. If he tries to just play straight up, he's going to be behind. He manages to take down that pylon. The cannons, they're still pushing him back, and 3 Stalkers out now for WBC, but more and more units warping in for RSVP.
Oh yeah, you know, right now you see, you know, RSVP doing a great job calling up for Scotty to beam him on down, and those Zealots, although they're wearing the red shirts, are getting in there, and, killing off the cannon, nice. Wearing
the red shirts. There we go. One cannon goes down, immediately replaced here by WBC. A second cannon coming back in, but this pylon down on the low ground allowing Zealots to warp all the way up, and I think WBC's not going to be able to handle this. There is a good amount of cannons coming in again, but now no more Stalkers, 2 more Zealots warping in that are going to somewhat be able to do some damage to these Stalkers, but the 1 Sentry not there in time to try and force field that ramp, and more Zealots warping in now for RSVP, so great play here, trying to bounce back after that failed rush early on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. RSVP is doing a great job here, pushing WBC right there to the limit, having to pull off so many probes right now, trying to get in Stalkers and Zealots as quickly as he can. In RSV, just warping them right back in, right there at the top. You know, great job there. He's microing him around. Unfortunately, he did lose most of his force right now. He just has that single Stalker out there at the moment, but it looks like he's going to target fire down that 1 pylon that was there, giving him the top vision, or the top warp in, I should say. And this could be dangerous right now for RSVP if he does not have anything back at home to sustain him there. Well, WBC does have that forward pylon there in the gold near RSVP's base, and of course he did do the gas steal, so that's definitely given him the vision, so to speak, more or less in the main base, and also thwarting those sentries and those stalkers that are just trying to annihilate it at the moment. We just see a robotics bay going down.
That sentry's right there at the ramp, going to have to handle it just right. Okay, he does get one force field down. He's only got 2 sentries though. So he's out of energy on that one. He's going to have maybe enough by the time this runs out. He'll have enough for definitely one more force field. Now 3 sentries. So he's going to be able to hold this ramp just about indefinitely so long as he's right on top of throwing those down. And WBC at this point just needs to cut his losses and expand. He catches, actually, using his own sentry, catches one stalker there. So great maneuver there by RSVP. But, with this many sentries, RSVP should be able to hold this pretty easily. Great maneuver by WBC, I should say. So the Zealot's going to lead in. Another good force field. Going to continue to hold this ramp. But WBC at this point may as well just go ahead and expand. I mean, this game is actually going to make it to the mid-game, I think, which is fairly well amazing. We see RSVP is quite far behind, though. He's only down 8 supply, but that makes such a difference whenever you're talking about armies that are this thin in what amounts to a kind of a screwed-up for Warp Gate War. So... WBC really at the advantage now, and I think he needs to press it. Just try and hold this ramp, keep forcing RSVP to waste energy. Yeah, with this number of sentries now, he's basically going to be able to infinity force field, so he's never going to be able to break this ramp so long as he doesn't catch his opponent completely off guard. And now WBC going for, you can't call it cheese at the 12-minute mark, but getting out the Dark Templars. He just wants to end things early, staying on one base.
Oh, yeah, and, I'm right there with you. It would just be, might as well just to go ahead and expand. It's not like he can't, we're sacrificing the minerals. It's not like RSVP is really going to be going anywhere. He doesn't have any outdoor pylons.
Right.
At the moment, so it's not like he can get. How many friggin' sentries do you have? He just has a handful, only about 5 or 6. So, but yeah, he's definitely.
Well, once you get up to this number, you can infinity force field. The energy regenerates quick enough that you're fine, and we can see. Some of these sentries look pretty low, but he's already got 2 that have more than. He's got 1 that actually has 2, almost 3 force fields worth saved up now. And
in come those Dark Templars right now. Let's see if he can see the shimmer. He does not see the shimmer, and in they come. They're going to start wrecking stuff now.
Going right to the robotics facility. Great call there by WBC. And now he uses the force fields to hold out anymore. RSVP says, I looked away for 1 second, and there's the GG. So WBC going to roll 2-0 over Complexity RSVP here in our IG Omega Divisional number 8, brought to you by itsgosu.com.
You're absolutely right about that, AC. Go to itsgosu.com, see all the upcoming events that we have, especially our event that we have coming up this Saturday at CyberCon, the back-to-back LAN events that we've got going on there. This, of course, will be the first official IG LAN event. Of course, AC and I will be there casting live, so you'll be able to see us. If you were there last week, of course, you get to see AC and I as we both co-commentated with Rage Quit TV's IP.
Right.
And we watched Revolution really sweeping the field there, and everybody breathing a sigh of relief that Avalo, although they were all happy that he was graduating from college, they were happy that he was not there, so somebody other than him could win the prize money. But I was told that he will be coming in this weekend, so we definitely look to seeing everybody come down to challenge Avalo, and I really look forward to seeing that. As much as we like to pick on Avalo for taking so gosh darn long, it will be nice to see.
It works, man.
If it works, it works. That's right. It's all about the Benjamins, as the kids would say.
All about them bennies. So
the bennies.
And the magic cards, actually. So don't forget, guys, we are trying to give those away. Listen throughout the rest of this stream. We're going to be referencing a multitude of movies. Anytime you think you've heard you catch a reference to a movie that we make sure you write that down. And then once you think you've got 3 of them, make sure you email that to contest@itsgosu.com. And, of course, you have to follow us on Justin TV as well and include the 3 movies plus the your Justin.tv name tag or handle or however you want to say it. Include that. We're going to choose 2 winners at random. And and be mailing those out in the next couple of days once the winners have been chosen. So thanks so much for being here with us. This is the IG Omega Divisional number 8, brought to you by itsgosu.com, and of course brought to you by our sponsors, Hypocrite Games, Cyberground.us, Max Integration, and San Yamabushi Jujutsu and Combination Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. You can find them at www.sanyamabushi-goju.com. So looks like we're going to be jumping right into our next matchup. Who we got? WBC and Frisky. Very nice.
And Frisky, yeah, Frisky. Coming through the upper part of the brackets there, taking out TQ Year UCC. I don't really know how to say that, but the TQ guys, the Think Quick guys, there are usually pretty baller right there. So Frisky's got to be a pretty killer, and of course it's going to be a great PvP coming up through here. So yet again we'll see another PvP. And I'm going to try not to call Sonky a noob. I tell him to no obs. So make sure, AC, that I put the space in there.
Oh, God. For those who don't know, by the way, what we're talking about there, I can't remember what event it was. I think it was our IG Cup or something like that. And, Red Mage, and it wouldn't be so funny if you weren't just, like, the nicest guy ever, man. You are just so nice to everyone all the time. Usually I'm the one who gets kind of dickish with people. But you had a bit of a mistype. You meant to say, no obs, sorry, and we were in a hurry, then you meant to kick someone. I can't. Who did you do that to? It was a good player. It was
VT. It was somebody on Team VT, but he was very upset.
Right, and you said, I don't know how in the word no obs turned into, sorry, no noobs. And I know you didn't mean that. It wasn't spelled exactly right. It wasn't like you spelled noobs exactly right or whatever. It was obvious it was a misspell, but you could just see if you were in a hurry, be like, sorry, no noobs, and then you kick him from the lobby and he shows back up and calls you a fag. Which is, and that makes it even more funny because that is just the stereotypical insult of the internet. That's what,
that's right.
It's like if you're going to get mad on the internet, you call someone a fag. It's just what you do. Looks like you're still trying to kick people out.
Yeah. So I gave everybody a one shot, and it didn't look like Sonky's gonna leave. I'm gonna have to be mean to Sonky.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on, Sonky, don't make me boot him. That's right.
There we go. You didn't boot him, did you?
No, I didn't have to boot him. He left. Thank goodness.
Good.
I hate being. All right, so I guess we're ready to go.
All right, moving into this. Moving into our.
Piss off, get another team member.
Oh yeah, because that's how we roll. We're always good, and we try to be so nice. It just seems like we always manage to piss someone off. This is our round of 4, our semifinals, by the way. Frisky and 1 WBC. I'm AC, and that's Red Mage JR. Thanks so much for hanging out with us in the stream, guys. It's a pleasure to be here with you as always. Or if you're watching us on video on demand, thanks so much for that as well. So, moving right into the game here. And, tonight our guys are competing for $20 cash prize. Not the biggest prize pool in the world, but hey, not bad for just playing StarCraft on a Wednesday night, am I right?
Oh, yeah, and we've actually had a couple of days off. I've been just totally, spaced out on some StarCraft because, I've been watching the GSL trying to keep up and everything, but after the excitement of this weekend, it was really hard. And of course, you and I were, for those of you who didn't see this, or tried to see the stream on Sunday, of course, AC and I, we were going to cast the King of the Hill like we usually do. We went up to Cybergrounds again because, of course, AC was in town, so we were at my place, and of course, I have really junky internet, so we had to go up to Cyberground. And of course, some of our Gosu players were actually having a Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat fighter tournament.
It was just basically a 2D and I really loved it, man. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a 2D fighter guy. Like my first experience with organized esports was Guilty Gear, and I came up with in the 2D fighter scene in Guilty Gear, and just that scene is so much fun because it really harkens back to the arcades of yesteryear, and you and I are just old enough to really remember when that was big, whenever it was a big deal to be like 12, 14, 15, and to go to the mall with like $15 in quarters and just hang out with all the guys that would be in the arcades. And there was always like the 1 or 2 dudes who were just freaking awesome. You're talking, the kids who are in wheelchairs and that are literally just, that's all they do. And yes, that's a reference, by the way. That's a very veiled one, but I can't think of a better way to work that in.
That's right.
Without
that was really good.
Okay, did you get that one? You got that one?
Oh, I got that one.
Okay, in general, we're not going to be calling out whenever it's going to be a movie reference, but I'm going to call that one out just because you could just think I'm a moron, and you're just like, kids in wheelchairs, what the hell? But anyway, you know, those kids who are like, that's just their whole life, and they've got the bullies who tell them about how all their nice stuff is just so bad, and you know, those guys who just were always there. It was such a community thing. That's really how it felt that night. You know, there were like 2 gigantic televisions going, and they were swapping games in and out. Everyone had the actual peripheral arcade joysticks and doing it right-ups and not even using controllers. But it was a good night, but we are sorry we didn't get a chance to bring you the King of the Hill that night. So it just must be, everybody must be in a hurry tonight. Yet again, it looked like WBC. No, it's not everyone. It's just WBC, the cheesy bastard. He loves the cheese, so he didn't quite get that pylon down, now trying to do the gas steal. And Frisky playing Ring Around the Rosie here. Oh, and he blocks it on accident. He actually moved a probe into the way to block that pylon, and he gets the probe, so no early cheese here for WBC. We might actually get to see a decent mid-game, Red Mage.
That's what it actually looks like right there, you know. And at first I saw that one
A quiz. W. 2 minutes.
Phone call.
60 seconds.
Who's calling you on the phone? You're in the middle of a tournament. Yeah, that's right. You better talk fast. You better talk like the microphone you got.
All right. Yeah. Here, let me check. I'll use my phone. And 60 seconds is the tourney rule. So. Okay. He's ready.
He's ready to go. What do you want? Get off the click.
Exactly. Who answers the phone in the middle of a StarCraft game anyway? I mean,
yeah, you know.
I mean, seriously.
That's gotta be like one of the toughest things. Like, you gotta pick up. It's like, you know, not only do you have to pause to friggin', you know, get the phone, but, you know, that's like a, you know, just let it go. Let it go.
Exactly,
you know, nothing is all that important. You know, even if your parents are calling, I was in the middle of a tournament, Mom and Dad. You know, I'm trying to earn money for my school books next year or whatever. You know, we can't all go to a tournament and play Super Mario Brothers 3 and Ninja Gaiden in order to win tons of cash.
Exactly. We don't all have those opportunities, you know. So
that's right.
Moving right back into the action. Good, we are on the same page. I was, you know, whenever you said you got the reference off of just the kid in wheelchair thing, I really wondered if we were talking about the same movies. Let's be honest. There's a lot of movies with kids in wheelchairs, but yeah, we got the same movie.
Yeah, we got the same movie. Right there.
Excellent.
See, you know, and it's great because you know, you and I don't discuss beforehand which movies we're going to reference.
No.
We do what we usually do, which is just, you know, make our or I'm going to make my wild observations like I usually do, and you're of course going to cast like a professional, but
I'm going to try.
I'm going to get wild, crazy with it.
Right.
Frisky doing a great job, though. He is going out and making sure there's no proxy pylons out and about in little areas.
Yeah, he knows his opponent. I mean, that's a good thing to do anytime. But if you run into WBC, it doesn't matter if it's a ladder or a tournament or a LAN or what have you. And you know, we love WBC. Great guy. We're very good friends with One Gaming, but he is one cheesy ass bastard. He will plant proxy everything everywhere, and he likes to go for those early wins. So yeah, if you run into him, if you know anything about him, you've got to constantly be checking for any sort of a hidden pylon anywhere. And Frisky doing a great job, and actually Frisky looking pretty good. He's been using all those units now. The pylon going down right at that north 12 o'clock Zelnaga tower, so he's moving across. He's got a good amount of units himself. This is coming off of a 4-gate, and this is actually going to be a one gas 4-gate rush because WBC did pull the gas steal. So WBC's got sentries, and he's up on 2 gases. He's tried to constrict this entrance to his base, but we're going to have to see how it's going to work out. Looks like Frisky's just going to start poking in and out. WBC actually moving up to engage, not going to be trying to use too many force fields at the moment. And Frisky, he's already got the pylon going down just south of the natural, so this could be a lot of trouble here for WBC. He's doing some good kiting, good force fields, though, going to make it hard for a lot of these units to retreat. The Zealots now moving in. Force fields trying to cut off the advance of the big Stalker Death Ball here, but the Zealots of Frisky move in, able to break and breach through that early part of this attempted hold here by WBC. Now moving back out and pushing back, but at this point, Frisky, I think, is going to be at the advantage in terms of continuing the pressure.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right about that, AC. We have more and more sentries right now coming in for WBC, trying to make sure you can maintain that hold on that center area. But you know, right there, Frisky doing a great job taking out those those pylons, and that's really going to restrict what WBC can do as far as reinforcements. He's going to reinforce from behind as opposed to right on top of the Army, and you can see him right now. He's coming in and laying down more pylons there.
Oh, he's got a ton of zealots. This is trouble. WBC's got to handle this just right. He gets down 2 good force fields, and that may have bought him some time. Don't know if it saved him yet, but really that was big. The fact that he managed to catch that push just right to allow a couple units to squeeze through and be picked off. So great control there by WBC, showing that he's not just a cheesy bastard. He's actually a hell of a good player all around who favors cheese. 2 more force fields going to constrict this and only allow 1 or 2 zealots in at a time. Great usage there. Only 3 sentries, though, for WBC. He's actually out of energy at the moment. He's almost got enough for 2 more. But right now, Frisky's got a little window. He's got to try and get in. The zealots are going to get in through the gate there. They're going to get the decent surround. 1 force field goes off, but now Frisky on the offensive. A ton of zealots still laying waste to things, but the zealots of WBC being controlled very, very well, going to work on the backside of the Stalker Ball, and the good kiting mechanics here by Frisky, continuing to walk away, and now I think looks to me like WBC's really on the back foot. Don't know that he's going to be able to bounce back too terribly well. The zealot count and the stalker count just a little high for Frisky. It's going to what's going to determine this, Red Mage, is when Frisky runs out of steam.
Oh yeah, when is he going to run out of steam? And right now, as you can see, his minerals are starting to get a little bit lower each time, and he could be approaching the critical unmask, so to speak, here very, very shortly. If he definitely has WBC on the defensive, like full on defensive, because every time you turn around, he's having to warp in just a few units just to try to stay ahead of the just constant onslaught that Frisky's laying down here.
I think WBC's real close to being able to really hold this. There was a lot of good micro there by Frisky, saving a lot of these stalkers and allowing their shields to regenerate, but I think he's kind of hit that point now where he's running out of gas. He's running out of gas figuratively and literally. He's going to have to be more zealot-heavy. Zealots can be kited, and of course they're always going to be vulnerable to those force fields, and it looks like WBC's actually going to hold here, and really, from first look, it didn't look like he was going to be able to. We're going to find out. The zealots moving in. They're going to engage right front up, and now that force field going to force those stalkers to move into a not exactly the best position. One zealot now from WBC going to work, and Frisky's definitely not going to be able to break this. He's still got 3 zealots, but now 1 more round. It looks like Frisky had 1 more round in him, and it's going to come down once again to micro control. WBC using the great micro mechanics now, kiting with those stalkers as those 4 zealots of Frisky continue to go to work on the pylons and chase them away, and it's impossible to call right now.
Yeah, Frisky doing such a great job right now. He keeps moving in units just at the right time, trying to get what he can to, he was kind of starting to work on the pylons and then forgot about the stalkers, and then he went back to the stalkers. He really needs to focus up, do one or the other, and at this point, right now he's chasing around those stalkers. But with just those 3 zealots, and now 2 more zealots, 2 more stalkers coming in, this could really be a great job here for Frisky, really doing a lot of damage to him. But I don't think that he's going to be able to completely break WBC.
WBC's just a little bit ahead, and I really think it looks like I was off on Frisky running out of gas. He had 1 more good warp in him, but now the units are beginning to trickle out. And yeah, he's just going to turn around and go home. And really, you can't do this whenever you're going to try an all-in 4 warp gate off of 1 gas. You really just can't afford to turn around and go home. He could just call GG right now. WBC's been up on 2 gases for a while. He's actually almost mined out in his main. Well, not almost mined out. You can see that the mineral's getting a little bit low. But now he's going to lose these pylons, and WBC is just in such a good position. And it looks like, again, you just don't bounce back from such an all-in sort of a 4 warp gate rush for a number of reasons. Your economy is literally crippled. You lose pylons that you plan as proxies, and we can see WBC beginning to hunt around. Without a doubt, he'll probably spot this one towards the center soon, so that's another pylon that's going to be lost. It'll actually supply block Frisky, and WBC, as long as he's patient, should just be able to move to victory here in just a minute or 2.
Oh yeah, because Frisky right now reduced to using only zealots at this point, and that's going to be extremely dangerous for him if WBC can get right into that gap choice. We see now that he does hit that Zelnaga tower, and he does see, of course, that 4 pylon. So just like you said, gonna bring Frisky down even lower.
Dark Shrine on the way here, so Frisky just saying, hey, I know and this is why, like, especially if, anyone who watches the GSL or really world-class top-level international players, not to say these guys aren't great players, just saying they're not in Korea good. But, as soon as you see a failed 4 warp gate, most of the time, I'd say 75% of the time, you see the GG immediately, just because there's no way to bounce back. But Frisky just says, okay, I know I can't really bounce back from that in any sort of a sustainable sense, so instead I'm just going to try and get lucky. I'm going to try and find a way to pull myself even. I'm going to get down a Dark Shrine and try and get lucky and get into his probe line and hopefully somehow delay what he can assume to be an inevitable death.
Oh yeah, and as you just see, the stream of I was going to say enemies, but the stream of bad guys, coming swarming on Frisky at the moment, and WBC like running around right now, just dropping pylons all over where he can right now, creating what he can, and Frisky dropped a proxy pylon there right about the 3 o'clock. Kind of in an oddball place. I guess he may be trying to possibly put down a remote nexus. To try to get some mining down.
I'd say he just wants to try and warp in those DTs in a place he doesn't think his opponent's going to spot. It actually looks like WBC's heading right there, though. So if he spots this, it's not going to be super huge, like game-changing, but it's certainly going to be just another kink. So yeah, 1 DT coming out right on that pylon now. And we do see, by the way, a Dark Shrine has gone down for WBC as well, just as his expansion nexus is finished. He's got this cute little Zealot line augmented with that photon cannon. But here we go, WBC going to begin to move in. He has no observer, so as soon as he realizes, yeah, he's going to have to run back home, that DT, no, I don't even, okay, now the blink goes off. So WBC going to be forced to run back home until he gets some kind of detection. So we're going to see a dual DT play. The good news for WBC, though, is he favors cannons so much, be it through cannon rushing or just using it to secure himself an expansion. So he's got cannons in place. No way the DT is going to be able to sneak by.
Oh yeah, absolutely not about that. The only hope that Frisky has to get any sort of economic damage on him right
2
now.
2 DTs for WBC have moved in now. They're going straight for the mineral line, and I think this is going to be GG. There's not going to be anything Frisky can do about this. He doesn't have a robotics. Yeah, there it is, the GG. So WBC stealing his opponent's tactics and making slightly better use of it, going to go up 1-0 here in this best-of-3 series at our IG Omega Divisional number 8, brought to you by itsgosu.com.
So true about that, AC, as we come into the second matchup here, as we try to find out what the map Frisky would like, because that's going to be the telltale sign is right there's where he's going to go. More likely Zelnaga, Metalopolis, anywhere like that. But don't forget, guys and girls, that if you were a big fan, always got to choose Metalopolis. But if you've been paying attention to what AC and I have actually been talking about in between the actual color commentary and the professional commentary that we like to spout off every so often, if you hear any sort of movie references, make sure you write those down, because if you can guess 3 movies that AC and I reference and send those results to contest at itsgosu.com, you could potentially win a pack of very collector's edition versions of the Planeswalker, Planeswalker Magic cards right there. Woo!
Hey, you're the Magic card aficionado, man, not me.
I already kind of crazy right there. So just make sure you can guess all 3, and make sure that you do follow us on Justin TV, because one of the biggest stipulations about the thing is that you do have to be a follower of us on Justin TV. So make sure you put along with the 3 guesses, you have to also put down whatever your Justin TV handle is, just so we can verify that you are a Justin TV follower. And that, even if you don't have a Justin TV account, it takes you like 3 seconds to make an account. It's free. It's not like you have to pay for anything. And if you're watching this anyway, more than likely to have one anyway, just so you can chat with us in the It's Goes Through chat.
Exactly.
Or chat with me, I should say, in the middle of the games when I'm supposed to be paying attention. But you can always tell when I'm not, because all of a sudden there'll be like a blank silence through the whole thing. But yeah, no, we are coming in now to the second game here in the best of 3 series. One's WBC taking on Frisky here on MLG Metalopolis. Our players are ready. AC, are you ready to go, buddy?
Oh yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm AC, that's Red Mage JR, and this is the Omega Divisional number 8, brought to you by itsgosu.com, and of course brought to you by our sponsors, Hypocrite Games, Cyberground.us, Max Integration, and San Yamabushi Jujutsu and Combination Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. Check them out online at sanyamabushi-goju.com. So more PvP action moving into, we call Xel'Naga Caverns Mother's Milk. I think we should call this one your grandmother's biscuits and gravy right before church in the morning, that kind of thing. Moving into Metalopolis, second most popular map, at least by our observations in the map pool. So we're going to see Frisky spawning again in the green at that 12 o'clock position, and WBC going to be in close air positions over at that 2 o'clock position. So, WBC's probably going to cannon rush because that's what he does. that's what he does.
That's his thing right there. Yeah, that's absolutely his thing right there. And as we see right now, somebody actually has 2 guesses already.
All right,
DJ Final is prepared to say he's got 2 out of the 3. Excellent. We hope you get all 3 of those. And of course, make sure, guys, that the cutoff time for those emails is 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because we want to make sure that everybody on the West Coast has an opportunity to rewatch the videos if they don't get a chance to watch us live. So 3 a.m. is the cutoff. So you do have an opportunity to go back through the whole thing and try to find out what those movie references are if you miss them the first time around. As we see, WBC was coming in there for just a second. He looks like he is coming to the backside of the natural. He's going to go walk around the long way, and
he's going to plant a pylon somewhere.
He's going to
that's what he does, man. It's how he plays.
I was thinking he was going to sneak around the side there and really put one there in that back corner so he could go right directly into the line there.
Yeah, the forge on the way, and he's just going to be cautious about it. He wants to make sure that his probe's not scouted, not even going to run up, and try to be, and even risk being spotted trying to go in for the early scout. And he lost his cannon rush to that good control there by Frisky. Yeah, now we see the pylon going down, and actually being very conservative about it. He's actually not going to be able to use that pylon to plant cannons up on the high ground. Just not enough radius on that following patch 1.33. So Frisky, he knows his opponent.
There's got to be a pylon out there.
Oh, nice. Wow. Good call there. And again, that just comes from knowing your opponent. Now, WBC puts it in the gas because, hey, if I'm going to hide it, I may as well hide it in the gas. Don't care if you see me do it. Needs to cancel that, really. And, no, actually, looks like, he's going to lose the pylon down outside, and now he's going to lose the one there in the gas. Great handling there. Frisky needs to get these probes back to mining right now, though. WBC does have 3 pylons. He loves doing this, walling himself in.
Now.
But it looks like Frisky's got the number. Yeah, WBC just has to hit the panic button, has to run back to the room and make sure that, that his opponent who's talking to him through the cameras back outside is unable to punish him any further. But he's going to be way, way behind now. Going to have to use that forge. Now throwing down double gas right on top of each other. How much you want to bet he goes DTs?
Oh yeah. At that point, you might as well. You're already taking the gas. You're not gonna make sure Frisky can't get up to the observation deck there. And it's one of those things when you're playing a PvP, you don't have the option just to go right to those observers. You've got to actually make yourself some sort of defense, because if you don't, WBC can spot that easily and just come in with a push, cancel the DTs and just go right in for a 3 or 4 gate rush where you've only got your single or double gateway, and then while you're trying to build up to observer tech. So it's one of those things that
we're probably going to see. We're probably going to see the 4-gate rush out of Frisky. I really think that would be the natural transition, given that WBC did pull the gas steal, so he's not going to be able to get that gas what he should be. Should be getting it right now, and it would only make sense to do so. WBC's actually got, he just picked off a probe of Frisky's as well. I'd say without a doubt, as soon as the cybernetics core finishes, we're going to see we're going to see him go up to DT tech. That's just WBC's. That's his modus operandi. If the cannon rush doesn't work, go to DTs. And it's a very risky style of play. It's, some would call it cheesy or more. I'm sure there are many people who have lost it would just flat out call it bullshit. But if it works, man. And WBC is actually, it's saying something whenever you do enough cannon rushes that you know how to transition out of them.
Yeah, if you definitely got the skill to go from one to the next, you definitely have used them, just enough to kind of warrant those kind of things. We do see that Twilight counts are going down right now for WBC, and that could go right into what you were saying, AC. We could be seeing a Dark Shrine very, very quickly there.
He's going to have to. He's not going to be able to support Blink Stalkers with any sort of good number of them. Right now, I mean, off of one base against an opponent he already knows is way ahead. He's already got the sentry out, so that's a good, not a waste of gas. He kind of needs it, but he's going to be real thin, at least until those DTs come up. And really what's going to matter here is how Frisky's going to handle this. Actually, I like this, going with 3-gate and Robo. He saw WBC use those DTs to such great effect last time, so he's not going to be falling victim to the same maneuver twice.
That's right, but and of course it's going to be good for him too, because he's going to get at that WBC going for that blink stalkers right there, so that'll suspend him from being able to get that high ground vision with any observers if he decides to throw down the Robo. There's the Robo right there for I'm sorry, that's friggin' Friskies. You say, but he is going to take an expansion. We haven't seen a good expansion out of Frisky. He kind of made one last game, but it kind of came a lot late.
Right.
When it was basically mined out of his main, it was kind of one of those desperation expansions. So we definitely have to see it. He does have that single sentry out there right now. He is throwing it out of the pylon. I don't know if he has a forge. Yeah, yep, doesn't have a forge, so he won't be able to put down any cannons to kind of hold that off. But he is getting out that observer. Smart move there.
Oh, yeah.
And more and more stalkers coming out. That blink just about finished. For WBC, we could see you could see a little bit of a push from him there, trying to get up there.
He's kind of going to have to. He's pretty much put himself in an all-in situation now. He's got 2 more warp gates on the way, and he's yet to take an expansion, so he's already gone all the way up to blink. He's basically resolving himself to 1 base at this point. Expanding right now would just put him so far behind. The Immortal going to be there in time for Frisky, though, by the time the brunt of this push hits, I believe. But WBC going to push and see what he can find, and what he's going to find is a Nexus that is going to be fairly lightly defended. Maybe with the best micro in the whole universe, he may be able to do some damage here. Actually, yeah, Frisky just says, go ahead, blink. I'm just going to A-move and get right in your face and hit you a few times and make you run away.
Yeah, and that's all you really need to do is just push that little force back a little bit, and just show that you're not really afraid of his little shenanigans right there.
Right.
With just basically 8 stalkers right there, and even though there's not a huge force there but Frisky does have that 1 Immortal, and with that 1 sentry, he can really do some serious damage.
Right. Frisky saying, I'm going to pistol whip the next person who pulls shenanigans. So.
What's that place on the wall with all the stuff on there? Oh, you mean shenanigans?
No, actually, I believe he means BJ's Crab Shack, if I had to guess, or Clam Shack.
That's right,
I should say.
Clam Shack. I keep wanting to say Crab Shack too, but
we'll have a liter of whatever beverage is popular in the Copperloo sector. So, anyway, Frisky continuing to hold the line.
What a liter of cola.
It's for Space Marine. Frisky continuing to hold the line here, though, so that Immortal out in plenty of time, and WBC is going to be feeling quite far behind. And what's really going to matter is if he's able to somehow get some high ground vision and begin to abuse the immobility of his opponent, because right now Frisky seems to be quite far ahead in terms of economy. He's got that expansion up. We see no intention, or at least no posturing from WBC that he's looking to expand at any point. Still continuing to warp in units and just mass over here at these gold minerals on the left side of the map. So, and even now warping in off another pylon. Bringing in 4 Zealots over there. I think he's just going to check around. So, but really, Frisky, it looks like, and yeah, he's going for the Templar Archive, so that's going to set him back. He's not going to be able to produce at the same rate for at least a little while. And all of a sudden, this army just got kind of scary here from WBC. If he uses those Blink Stalkers just right, he may be able to do a lot of damage here. Frisky being very active with that army outside of his expansion. But WBC's got a chance to punish this more and more, bringing the probes even. So going to be a complete all-in now from WBC. Going to move that on the side. Good attack angle. And we see that those Zealots do have the charge upgrade, so they're going to go to work. The probes being pulled off. A good amount of Stalkers there for Frisky, who also have Blink. So it's really going to come down to who's able to micro these Stalkers the best and conserve their energy. Good force fields going down, cutting off WBC Zealots from getting in, while that Immortal hangs out on the high ground, taking pot shots. And Frisky looking so good, pulling these Stalkers back just in time. A blink there by WBC, and a blink back by Frisky right on top. Going to try and keep himself within range of his opponent. And I don't think WBC's got it here. He's down 22 supply, and Frisky's going to be able to pull this even to 1-1.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be great right there. Even though Frisky did lose that immortal, and it causes the GG there by WBC. Great job, Frisky, putting up 1-1 and showing that there is a way to come back from any sort of that cheese play. And what do you think? Do you think WBC is gonna try to go for the same cheese, or do you think or same strategy?
Well, with him, it's like, you can't
strategy?
call it a cheese. It's just like he's like, some people are like, yeah, I like that. The 3-gate Sentry expands very solid. WBC's like, yeah, I'm into the Forge Cannon Rush expand. The Forge first. Yeah, that's my standard opening. That's just kind of how I play. But
as they would say, it's aggressive negotiations.
Aggressive. All right, folks, welcome in once again. I'm AZ. That's Red Mage JR, and this is the Omega Divisional number 8, brought to you by itsgosu.com, and of course brought to you by our sponsors: Hypocrite Games, Cyberground.us, Max Integration, and Sanya Mabushi Jujutsu and Combination Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. We're here in the semifinals between 1WBC and Frisky, who, as far as I know, is not affiliated. But, he's a pretty solid player. He's given 1WBC a run for his money, so to speak, tying his best-of-3 series up 1-1. Going to be moving into the decisive Game 3. For those who are just joining in, I just want to go ahead and say once again, we are running a contest this evening. We're going to be running this contest for quite some time, actually, for a lot of our events. So the rules are always going to be the same. Red Mage and I are going to occasionally reference a multitude of different movies. And all you have to do to have a chance to win, I'm going to let Red Mage tell you about the prize here shortly. He knows a lot more about them than I do. But all you have to do to win our contest is hit follow on our Justin TV stream. And then whenever you hear us reference throughout any stream a bunch of, whatever movies you hear us reference, all you have to do is guess 3 of them. If you can get 3 out of the probably 10 or 20 we'll reference in a given evening, and you're a follower of us on Justin TV, just pop an email to contest@itsgosu.com, and we're going to pick 2, or, depends on the night. But tonight we're doing 2 random winners, and we're going to be sending them what, Red Mage?
We're going to be sending them the special edition Planeswalker packs that were given out only, or I'm not even given out, they're sold only at the 2010 New York Comic Convention. And they're of course the special edition Planeswalker boxes. And you can tell they're the special edition because they're just they're the little promo boxes that just have the box at the cellophane. There's no real major markings or anything on there. There's literally just the front pictures, and that's it. They don't have all the big Magic the Gathering stamps and whatnot on them. So they're they're pretty legit. And taking a look at them, they were pretty hot. And I talked with some people that were a lot more into Magic than me, and they were drooling over these little suckers. So
worth $15 a pack, man. So
$15 a pack, and that's not even including like if you get some of the rares.
Right, exactly. That's just taking a chance of getting a rare. And again, WBC looks to be a little paranoid, pulled actually 3 or 4 probes just to try and target fire down this probe from Frisky. So maybe expecting. And now I can tell you, WBC, he's going to do it again. He sent this probe, but what really gives it away is that the scouting path he took, to get to where he is, he took the long way around. So it looks like he didn't want to get spotted. He's going to move in and spot the gateway. So are we going to see the pylon? Are we going to see him do something nutty? Come on, WBC, don't let me down. No, actually, all right. Looks like he's actually going to try and play to a mid-game. He just did a quick scout, and now he's sending the probe back home. So.
Oh, no, he's putting the Forge down right now. So,
yeah.
Nope.
Never mind. And again, for him, this isn't even cheese. This is just, it's like, I prefer the Forge Cannon Rush opening. Very standard stuff. Very stable, at least in his mind. And Frisky reacting well, pulling the probes quick. And again, this is something that's so important if you're a player who's just trying to work their way up. And, you see something like this, the panic sets in. You go, okay, I'm getting cannon rushed. I got to do crisis management. But just pulling 4 probes. 4 probes going to be there in quite enough time to be able to deal with this.
He throws down 2 more right there, even though Frisky's trying to take him down.
Right.
And throw down more pylons. Wow. He had just absolutely being a jerk right there, throwing them down, trying to keep those probes occupied. And even though it may look like he's not really doing anything, he's taking up mining time, and it looks like he may be going for that gas steal again. If I was Frisky, I'd try to throw down a gas steal. Oh no, he's going to cut him off at the pass. Nope, looks like Frisky's going to, or WBC's going to make it to the gas, but not going to be able to throw down a gas right there. But we did find out that Frisky is actually part of VP Gaming.
VP? Oh, he is. Okay.
Yep, so he's part of VP Gaming. Thanks to Daedalus.
Oh, yeah. Want to make sure we get that right.
For that info. Yep.
We know the VP guys. We like them a lot, so always great to have more of them involved in our events.
And WBC does manage to get that one photon cannon down, another one warping in right now, and a third one coming in. And I think this might be the end of Frisky's rise to power, so to speak. Wow, he just keeps throwing down more and more.
Oh God, WBC is such. Literally, it's for those who remember when White Raw lost to Sin in the GSTL, no, not the GSTL. I'm sorry, the GOM World Championships, and he ended up by saying, "GG, you Gosu for Warpgate." You just that's what I want to say to WBC is you Gosu Cannon Rush, and he's so good with it.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous how quickly he can get that down. And unfortunately, that does cause Frisky to GG. He lost most of his probes right there, trying to combat that single probe. So, unfortunately, yeah, that is the end of the ride, so to speak, for Frisky. So, thanks a lot for coming out, Frisky. We hope to see you again next week, or if you're in the northern Virginia, Washington D.C., Southern Maryland area, we're going to see everybody come down to CyberGrounds this weekend for the first official IG LAN event, #1 right there, casted live by Red Mage, that's me, and AC, that's you.
That's me.
And so you can see our shenanigans live. And, for those of you that were there last week, of course, you got to see me get absolutely raffle stomped on camera.
Oh, yeah.
That was terrible. I had to face off against Orb. Oh, my goodness. That was rough. Brutal.
That was rough.
There was outclass, and then there was just, not even bother showing up to class at that point. And, I can't even say I was having an off day. I was trying to do what I can, but panic set in, and the nerve. Now I know how a lot of our younger, our beta and alphas feel when they get cast, because that's a lot of pressure. But not just that, you're being casted live at a LAN event.
Well, not even our lower level guys, even Kylito, a guy who's been on cam and been casted by us so many times. He'll make it to the round of 8 or the semifinals or something. Of one of our events, and as soon as we're like, all right, we're casting you, he's like, oh no, and he'll go not making fun of him, he'll drop 3 games in a row and lose ugly, not just lose, but lose ugly.
Yeah, so. It's never been good, but oh man, it was absolutely terrible, because where I'm set up, because I have a little special corner for the IG staff. We have a little special corner set up at CyberGround,
right?
And it's right, so everybody's literally sitting right behind me, watching it live on camera behind me, and then of course AC and If are both commentating, and I can just feel everybody laughing at me.
Oh, we weren't laughing. It was what it was. You were a little outclassed, man. It happened.
Yeah, I was a little outclassed. Although I did get to the guy that the only person I've ever beat at a LAN event. I actually got a chance to rematch with him of Venus, which was actually pretty good, because he had to remind me that I beat him last time. I was like, oh my goodness, and
I'm sure he had to remind you. Listen at you, how humble. You don't forget that.
I actually did not remember what his name was. I just remember that he was a Protoss. But yeah, he and we got into the first match. He won pretty well, pretty quickly, because I tried to expand too quickly, and he came out with a 4-gate rush, and then the second game, about a 40-minute duke out right there, and it was a great game. He is one heck of a competitor right there for being a gold class. So I hope he's there next week. Not so much because of course we're not playing, but just so I can have a chance to, because I didn't get a chance to actually sit down and talk with him this time around. But so we hope to see everybody there this weekend. It's always a lot of fun. Of course, hopefully Lucky Fool will be there. Avilo. Or Avilo, I'm sorry, I keep messing up his name again.
Arkansasy going to get in your ass,
Arkansasy hopefully will be there.
Well, I'm just saying you got to say it right, or she'll get on you.
Arkansas, that's right.
Well, actually, I'm looking at the players we have signed up so far. I'm not going to read the whole list of. I'm just going to give some of the highlights. VT Lanier, VT Avilo, NRG Lucky Fool, NRG Eve, Revolution, the guy who won actually the event last weekend. He blew through. Not blew through. I mean, he had some damn good games to get there, but went through literally some of the best players in the country to win. Went through a field that's going to be well representing more than 2, 3, 4 teams. And going to be representing themselves at MLG and probably making it somewhat deep into the tournament, one would think. So, Revolution of Team Revoki, just an amazing guy, a good guy that we're good friends with. So, he's going to be there. SKS Dark of us, of course, he's going to be there. A lot of y'all probably haven't heard of him. He's a Masters Leaguer, and he's damn good. I'm not going to lie. He had a bit of a rough time last time. He also helps out with the tournament, so we'll use that as our excuse to thank all the admins, as we usually do. Thank you so much. to SKS Dark, to Voss, and to Mr. Mini-Me, the guys who really make this possible. Without them, it would be pretty much impossible. I mean, we have a hard time not killing ourselves when we go down the street or try to tie our shoes, let alone trying to run a tournament and to stream at the same time. So, really, Red Mage and I would be kind of out on our own and looking nasty if it weren't for them. And, of course, the ineffable Hook Tits, also known as Chocolate Tits. I can't remember why Ip and I named him that. I can't remember why.
Because he drank like 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, that was a story. Like the last
he drank like 6 or 7 years before the thing even started. So yeah, we all called him Chocolate Tits. And it was actually pretty hilarious. And he was a great, like everybody that you and I got a chance to actually meet and talk to. Everybody was really great to kind of hang out with, and it was a whole lot of fun. So even if you're again, you can come down and just watch. If you can hang out, they got a couple of couches there. We set it up real nice, and of course we'll be unveiling the brand new IG. I don't want to really give it away, but the new IG look, I guess, of all of our exterior events when we're not doing them online, when we actually go out and do events all over the place. And of course, we'll be announcing more and more external events, offline.
Right.
Coming up here pretty soon, but you'll get a taste of what is to come from its Gosu. We have lots of really cool stuff planned, and we definitely want to see everybody's shocked and awed face when they come in to CyberGrounds next week.
All right, speaking of external events combined with online events, just one more time, I've noticed we had a few more people join the stream here lately, so we're going to call it out once again. We got that contest going on. We're going to be giving away, and I'll let Red Mage tell you about that again. I've heard you say it enough, I should know it, but I just don't know Magic that well. But we're giving away some very, very rare and limited edition Magic cards. Going to be giving away 2 packs of them this evening, valued at $15 a pack. And keep in mind, that's like wholesale price. That's not like retail. That's not anything. This is we're giving the bottom value on this because they are this rare. There are cards that come in these packs that are worth $60 to $100 a pop. So we're going to be giving away 2 of those, and the rules are real simple. Red Mage and I, we were doing this a month ago before we even thought about doing this. We tend to make sometimes funny, usually just a little bit out of left field movie references while we cast. All you got to do is listen into the rest of the cast this evening if you are just joining us. Listen in and identify 3 movies that we reference throughout this evening. Then you got to hit follow on, preferably I'd like you to hit follow anyway, whether you intend to compete for the cards or not. But follow us on Justin TV, then pop an email to contest@itsgosu.com with your 3 guesses as to the movies we've referenced. And if you get those right, you're going to be entered into a random drawing of whoever gets it right this evening. And we're going to be contacting you if you win and getting you those cards as soon as possible. So, Red Mage, tell them exactly why these cards are something they're going to want.
Oh yeah, if you're a big fan of Magic the Gathering, these are part of the special edition Planeswalker series. You could only get these at the 2010 New York Comic Convention, and sure. Sorry, I was trying to get TQ. It's going to be actually TQ Sanus taking on one WBC here in the finals. But
wow, Sanus is a guy we know so well. He does.
Oh, Sanus is incredible. He needs just a second before we start. To take care of some things, so it gives us plenty of time. But yes, these are the special edition cards that you can only get at the 2010 Comic Convention in New York. And what's cool about them is they have this appeals to me. Is they just have the pretty pictures on the front of the box. They don't have the Magic the Gathering Planeswalker series and all that stuff. We see just a little bit of picture and a whole lot of words. These are literally just the whole picture right there. They look absolutely incredible. They retailed for $15 a box.
Right.
And that was there. And if you try to get just the regular Planeswalker boxes, they're $15. But they don't have the special edition cards and whatnot that are in there. And your chances of getting one of the cool rares was a little bit higher with these special packs.
Right.
So. This is actually going to be a pretty neat little thing here, and now that's thanks to our new sponsor, the I can't even say their name, and that's terrible.
Sanya Mabushi Jujutsu and Combination Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. You can check them out at sanyamabushi-goju.com. Don't worry, that's why you got me, my friend.
That's right. That's exactly why I have you there. And those donated these cards. So definitely, take a look at the site, especially if you're in the Woodbridge. Northern Virginia area there, because they do a lot of cool things there. Not just jiu-jitsu, but They do a lot of self-defense, even female self-defense courses, things like that. So very, very cool place over there. So definitely check them out and thank them very much for donating these great little.
And by the way, for those who are just joining us, if you're thinking, I just joined and I'm not going to have a chance to win because I missed a good portion of the broadcast, BS, my friend. The cutoff is not until 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you're going to have 6 hours to go back and rewatch the VOD. If you're just joining us now and maybe only catch 1 or 2 references as we move into the finals here. Doesn't matter. You can go back and rewatch the VOD. You've got quite a lot of time to go back and try and get involved in this. So don't give up yet. Just make sure you listen in. And I know for a fact, to my count, and again, Red Mage and I haven't planned this. We're doing this off the cuff and off the collar, so it's nothing like that. I've counted 5 or 6 movies that have been referenced so far, so definitely been enough to this point, and there's enough if you want to go back and watch the VOD, and I guarantee there'll be another 3 or 4. But so it looks like we're waiting on WBC, right?
Yeah, it's for some reason I'm getting the auto decline for the invitation, so I don't know if that's on me or if that's on WBC.
Okay.
So just trying to see.
Let me try it. I'm going to suggest them for you.
All right, see if you can suggest.
Yeah, there we go. Suggest. See if you can add it that way. BattleNet, thank you so much for. Yep, that'll work now. It looks like.
See, look at that. Yeah, BattleNet just hates me for some reason. The other day, it kept kicking me off, and then.
Oh, BattleNet just hates everyone, man. BattleNet's a fickle beast.
Everything. It's no good. It's what it is. It's the Worgen Terran that's ticking them off. Oh, you were right. WBC was watching replays. No problem.
Hey, speaking of the Worgen Terran, you and I have been playing a little Rift lately, the new MMO, and
we have. Yeah,
I gotta say, I'm damn impressed, man. And I was a WoW player for a little while. I didn't stick with it that long, but yeah, I mean, Rift is just kind of a hell of a lot better than World of Warcraft. It just kind of really is.
Oh yeah, it's pretty slick. You and I the other day we were. They have the little rifts that open up and all the bad guys come
so
out.
Awesome,
it's kind of cool. You and I were shouting back and forth, there's a rift! Come over here and get it! And of course, having a good old time, and, you and I have, we try to play, we played EVE together, and, this is, I think this is the most, active that you and I have been in something other than StarCraft.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt, so... I see in the chat we just got asked. I got to bounce back in. I hadn't logged in.
Just the title, Dave Asian. I'm getting Dave Zan. Divasion. There we go. I kind of dig that Divasion. Yep. It's like David Hasselhoff if he was Asian.
It sounds like a car name. It's like new from Infinity in 2012, the Divasion XL. That kind of a thing. So
nice. I like the and you even used the radio voice.
Oh no, that was the announcer voice. I can do the radio.
Oh, the announcer voice. Yes.
You're on WVOW Logan. There you go.
So many people commented that you have the radio voice.
I do. I worked in radio.
It sounds like he's on the radio.
Yep, I was. I was on the radio for 4 years. So, and I've considered going back once or twice, but then I'd have less time to do this, and screw that. So
that's right. You'd have to actually work.
Oh, exactly.
With the
I'd have to do news and weather reports and talk about politics if I went back to doing talk radio, which I did for a little while. And no thanks. I'd much rather talk StarCraft. So
that's right.
Hey,
and it looks like
we got it right. We got it. Divasion says we actually got it. We actually got his name right. So.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
So anyway, as we move in here to our best of 5 finals, going to be TQ Sanus of Think Quick Gaming taking on 1WBC of All for One Gaming. Both of these teams are guys that we feel like we know pretty well. One we've actually worked very close with for quite some time now, so make sure you check them out online. Both are amazing players. So this action going to be brought to you by the fact that they have some baller-ass gamers. Of course, going to be brought to you by itsgosu.com. And once again, brought to you by our sponsors, Hypocrite Games, Cyberground.us, Max Integration, and Sanya Mabushi Jujutsu and Combination Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. You can find them at sanyamabushi-goju.com. So, getting the ready check from the players now. This is the Omega Divisional number 8, brought to you by itsgosu.com. For those who aren't familiar with our tournament system, this is our Diamond Plus event, which means Diamond players, Masters players, etc. And I guess I wouldn't exactly be pissed if a Bronze player tried to sign up. It just we try and organize them.
we're having to remake it because unfortunately it was mislabeled in the on the map pool as RE again. So they're saying that they would prefer it be the RE version as opposed to the SE.
Yeah, that's fair enough, I guess. Fair enough.
Yep.
No
Yep.
problem.
It was mislabeled, so it's but just remember that when we do fix it, it will be the
SE version.
The SE version.
Well,
so make sure that you are practicing.
It has nothing to do with it being mislabeled. That's just and I don't blame them. That's just an excuse. It just Terminus RE is a hell of a lot easier to play on than SE. With that those destructible rocks back at the third, all of a sudden it doesn't become super duper easy to take 3 bases. So.
Yep, that's right. Which is always and it could put WBC at a huge disadvantage right there with that, because he won't be able to do all of those little tricks, so to speak, because he'll be able to actually get out of his base a little bit faster,
right?
Or be able to
Well, he'll have to worry about an alternate attack path for if and when the eventual counterattack comes. So what I've got up right now, by the way, for those who aren't familiar with our tournament system. We're doing 20 events a month, not even counting live events. We did, of course, the DC Land with Lucky Fool and that crew last weekend. We're going to be back down at Cyberground this weekend doing the live IG event. But anyway, aside from that, we do 20 events a month, $1,500 formerly, now $2,500 in cash and prizes given out just this spring alone, April through June. Going to be bouncing back July through September for our summer series to do even more. So you'll see this calendar get updated to reflect all that. You can find all those details at itsgosu.com. Just head there, check under featured articles about halfway down the main page, and you'll see announcing our 2011 tournament series. You can get all the details on all of our events right there. So once again, thanks to each and every one of you hanging out with us here in the stream or in the BattleNet chat. I'm AC, that's Red Mage JR, and this is the IG Omega Divisional number 8, brought to you by itsgosu.com. We're moving into the finals now. Going to be 2 guys we're very familiar with here at Red Mage. TQ Sanis taking on 1WBC. 2 amazing players, if you ask me. 2 guys I just love to watch play. Sanis, a hell of a strong Zerg, spawning down in the 6 o'clock position in the orange, and of WBC, loving his cannons as always. And I'm interested to see if he's going to try and cannon rush his Zerg. You really kind of can't. He's sending that probe out pretty early though. No, actually sending it about right on time. I thought he was just going to send it before building the pylon. But yeah, WBC spawning roughly that 9 o'clock position. So Santa's got to be kind of happy to see where they're spawning. Again, this is Terminus RE, so you're talking a rotationally symmetrical map. And because of that, even though all the bases are identical, where you spawn in relation to your opponent actually can determine and not limit, but somewhat influence the way the game feels. Santa's going to be able to take his second and his third, moving away from his opponent, while WBC will actually have to be moving towards his opponent if he takes his second and his third.
Yep, and that's that could always play in to the strategy just a little bit differently. And right there you see that WBC, they go to the 12 o'clock just to see if his opponent was behind him. And of course that Overlord's going towards the 3 o'clock position, but it looks like that drone is going to, Sanis is going to find out where his opponent is first and have just that brief couple of seconds of an advantage there, so to speak. But we do see that, where is that? There it is. There's that drone or that probe right now, going into the 3 o'clock position as well, and he's not going to see much of anything. So
right.
That's going to definitely play into Sanis's hands for the most part, because like you said, he is going to start moving away from his opponent. And with the SE as opposed to the RE, which I was just told by who said that? Division actually said that RE is the revised edition. It's considered the upgraded edition from the SE, but we like the SE because of those rocks, and we're tired of seeing everybody just pile in behind that single A and choke. We want to see a little bit more of an excitement match here on the Terminus sector here.
Right. Well, the rocks were added back into competitive play in the GSL. So we try and allow our map pool to reflect all the major map sources, I guess you could say. We try to always feature one GSL, one GSTL, and then at least that many, and then of course more Blizzard maps, your standard ladder maps like Xel'Naga Caverns and Metalopolis. And then we just added Icy Cup Test Bug as well. So we try and always make sure that we try and have a varied map pool. And I'd say so far, I know that this is to your chagrin, I'd say our least popular map so far is Belshir Beach.
It's just terrible. Everyone should play Belshir Beach. I think we should make just like we made everybody play Crossfire in the finales. I think we should change Glacier Beach from the round of 16 to the final round, and really just really start off the finals.
Well, you know what the problem is, don't you? It's the thing. I'll tell you what the problem is. Protoss don't surf, man. Protoss don't surf.
Well, they can boogie board or anything like that. It's not like they need a bigger boat or anything. They can just easily walk across water right there with their little elf style feet, and just beam in. There's no problem. They don't have to touch it.
Exactly.
They don't have to touch the nasty water.
Oh yes, movie references for the win. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call that out. That was a couple good ones out of you and I. So yes, if you're listening and you're playing the contest, there were a couple for you. So at least 2 there that I counted. So should be absolutely no excuse whatsoever for people not to be sending in the emails and hitting that follow button on Justin TV. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with us once again. And right now we see a very quick Twilight Council followed up by that very, very quick Dark Shrine out of WBC. So WBC, and again, this is the kind of guy that you hate to run into on the ladder. That's really the only way to put it. He's a cheesy bastard who loves to get in your face and use, he doesn't like to play standard. He likes to play kind of balls out, and it tends to work out for him.
Yeah, because a lot of people nowadays are always trying to work on some sort of weird builds. The Spinishua build, the
Ice Fisher
build, all these kind of crazy ones here, and for him just to kind of take this
he's
fast
faking
action
this
approach.
so good. He is faking this so good. WBC getting the two sentries out and the zealots and putting them down at the bottom of the ramp. He is faking this expansion so good here, Red Mage. He's going to know that Sanus is going to spot it, so he's got his posturing just perfectly as if he's going to throw down that expansion like he's not going with a quick tech path. And when the opposite is true, that Dark Shrine just about finished now, only a handful of seconds left. And Sanus, right now, he's getting the Spore Crawlers out, though, so I don't know if he saw something, don't know if he spotted it. I don't know how he could have spotted it. It seemed like he kept things pretty much under wraps, but getting the Spore Crawlers up pretty quickly, and that kind of surprises me.
If I was Sanus, I would immediately throw down a Spore and a Spine Crawler, regardless.
Right.
Just right out of the gate, that was automatically what I'd get right there, just because that WBC is going to be coming with something. You don't know what, but something. So you're always going to want to put a Spine Crawler down as soon as you can to knock out any sort of weird, proxy, or not really proxy, but cannon rushing,
right.
And then any sort of shenanigans with that. And we see that WBC blocking in his own probe at the moment.
Needs to click on the minerals. Click on the minerals.
Needs to click on the minerals, but it looks like he was trying to click on a direct path. We do see a Dark Templar out right now, along with a handful of zealots. And a couple of probes right now.
Well,
they're going to make their way.
Three of those DTs.
Three more already.
Yeah. I had the camera on that. I guess you didn't see it. He ran in with those 3. It was actually 4, and 1 got sniped down. He ran in down there and was spotted immediately and turned away. So WBC, I think he knows he's kind of got a push right now. He went for that quick tech path. He did not get a Nexus down, no expansion. So if he did just fall back and expand at this point, he'd be way behind. And instead he says, all right, screw it. I'm going to win or lose right now.
And that's it. And that's kind of out there, because if you do take this particular path, you might as well do something. And that one Zergling gets on by, ha, I am safe. That's that right. And of course, he's surrounded again. And nobody expects the Zealot Inquisition.
Oh yes, must have been wearing his PF flyers, man. Make you run faster, jump higher than you ever would before. And of course, endorsed by Benny the Jet. I have no doubt about it. So, WBC going to be trying to move in. He's going to say, "You're killing me, Sanus," as he moves in, and he's going to have all of these. He's going to have the Spore Crawler there to try and deal with this. The Archon's warped in, though, so great usage of the DTs and saying, "Hey, get Spore Crawlers. That's fine. I'll just get these big honking blue things." These things that apparently, according to the nomenclature, actually cast games once in a while. Seems like there's a lot of casting Archons, but this is a very high roach count here for Sanus, backed up with these Spine Crawlers, and now WBC forced back once again. The Zerglings trying to move in. Just a small number of them. The Roaches target firing down these Archons. Great control by Sanus. And really, we've seen this before. We've seen him go all the way to the finals and further in our Omega Divisionals before. He is so good with using Roach on Protoss action. I mean, he is just so good at handling any amount of Protoss action by using Roaches.
Oh yeah, and as you see right there, he did kind of forget about the pylon that was there. He normally is pretty good at taking that out. There he goes. Now he corrects his mistake there, getting down those, throw down the pylon there and get that out of the way. And we looked at there's a huge amount of Overlord action covering every single angle that it can, preventing any sort of warp prism drop-ins or anything like that. Not that that's a WBC staple, but might as well make sure that you're playing all sides of the field right there if you can. And that now he's up on 3 bases right now. He's in a perfect position to really put a hurting on WBC.
Well, he's moving in now
at any time.
Looks like he wants to try and end this here, and I think his chances are pretty solid. He's going to move in with the Roaches. Roaches a little mishandled, missing a little bit of firing time. Now cut in half by some good force fields out of WBC. The Archon does go down, though. The Zealots going to work here at the Roaches at the front, but really just a handful of sentries and a couple Stalkers left to hold this off. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be our GG. WBC down to 39 supply against the 93 of his opponent. Sanus looking so strong, and there it is. GG. So Santa's going to jump out to a 1-0 lead here in the best of 5 finals of our IG Omega Divisional number 8, brought to you by itsgosu.com.
You're absolutely right about that, AC. Go to itsgosu.com, see all the events that we have going on, 5 to 6 events a week between now and the end of the year. We're only adding them on, especially our LAN events and things like that. Absolutely ridiculous as we continue to go through our spring and summer series here. We hope that everybody can participate what you can, because we do have things for lower leaguers. We do have things for grandmasters, masters, all the way over the place. And AC did a great job at color coding the calendar there, so that way you can peruse at your liking, exactly what's going on a day-to-day basis. I know I look at it all the time because the only way I can tell anything is by looking at the colors. The pretty colors.
Oh yeah, we've got so much going on, guys, for real. Beta, Alpha, Omega. Doesn't matter what level of play you're on. Beta divisionals for our Bronze and Silver League players. Alpha divisionals for our Gold and Platinum League players, and then our events like tonight. Omega divisionals for Diamond Master and Grandmaster players. Then you've got our Omega Cups. That's going to be coming up actually really soon. I've just about forgotten completely that we've got that going on Friday. So don't forget about our Omega Cup just in a couple of days, just day after tomorrow. Our Gosu Cup. Our IG Cup, we're in the process of rebranding that just to prevent any kind of confusion. That's coming up in just a week or two. Going to be on June 11th. Again, going to have a pretty large prize pool for that. And I'm just going to go ahead and mention this. Our prize pools are likely to be increasing very soon, even further. We're already giving away $2,500 in cash and prizes just this spring, but we've actually pretty much locked down a partnership with one of the biggest names in esports right now. We're in the process of finalizing the details on that. Can't wait to bring you the information. So, going to be a lot more going on. We've got our King of the Hills on Sundays, our Faction Wars. The VOD's going to be on the way for that very soon. And the Faction Wars final, not far away either, June 18th. So next month. And $500 cash prize on that, featuring some of the best teams in North America. So, big stuff going on here at IG. I'm AC, that's Red Mage JR, and this is the IG Omega Divisional number 8, brought to you by itsgosu.com, and of course brought to you by our sponsors, Hypocrite Games, Cyberground.us, Max Integration, and San Yamabushi Jujutsu and Combination Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense. You can find info on them at sanyamabushi-goju.com. So, for those who are just joining us in the stream, just a quick run through. Once again, we are in the finals. We're moving into Game 2. I'm AC. That's Red Mage JR, TQ Sanus, and 1WBC. Going to be facing off as ZVP on Shakura's Plateau. And we've got a giveaway going on tonight. The long and the short of it is we're giving away some very valuable Magic the Gathering cards. To win, all you have to do is hit follow on the stream and then listen in for the movie references that Red Mage and I make. If you can nail down 3 movies, all you have to do is email the names of 3 guesses that you think as the movies we've referenced this evening. Email those to contest@itsgosu.com. We're going to select 2 people at random, and the cutoff for that is at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're just joining us and you're worried you're not going to have a chance to get those references, don't worry about that. You can go back and watch the VOD, and you're going to have just as good a chance as anyone on the East Coast who's been with us from the beginning. So moving right into the action, though, WBC going to be spawning in his typical yellow at the top left, roughly that, call it 11 o'clock 10-ish position, and TQ Santa's going to be quite happy to find out that he's at cross-map positions down in the bottom right. So Santa's really doing a great job feeling his opponent out in that first game, able to spot, and they were actually chatting it up between games there, able to spot the fact that DTs were coming because he said he saw the sentries and the zealots, and the sentry zealot count was a little bit low, and on top of that there was no nexus down. So he says that's what gave him away.
Yeah, and that's something you gotta always be concerned with too. Is that if you're gonna do that kind of feint more or less, you really got to commit to it and really try to create the huge sucker punch there, because the last thing you need is for someone with a lot better game sense. I'm not going to say that Sanus's game sense was superior than WBC's, but that particular game, his game sense, his spider sense was tingling, and and he was able to detect that something was going to happen there, and unfortunately there was nothing that any sort of venom that WBC could produce was going to hamper what Sanus was going to.
Oh yeah, the resulting carnage was just, disgusting. We saw Sanus morph his play style around that, as if he were wearing some sort of a suit that allowed him to change his bodily shape. So. They were you were very subtle about it. I'm just going to go way over the top. You don't get it. You just don't know comics. I'm not even a comic book guy, and and I know what we're talking about here. So, but
I finally got to see Thor last night. Thor, not as bad as I really expected it.
That's not a movie reference, by the way. That doesn't count. Do not email us and say you talked about Thor.
Yeah, any movie that we mentioned by name does not count.
Right, right.
It's got to be one that we hint at. Right. But we do see a cannon going down somewhere. Where is that cannon? Is it back at his base?
Back at his base.
Okay, because I saw the cannon go, and I was like, where did he put it? All I see is the proxy pylon where we put the expansion. That's about it. So
right,
okay, there we go.
He did block the expansion, but Sanus not really going to do much to Sanus's build anyway. Sanus had gone spawning pool first, so WBC oddly being very, very typical, dare I say, getting this Forge Fast expand. And I'm going to be honest, and not to knock the guy, WBC is an amazing player in his own right. I'm a guy who could beat the pants off of me if he and I faced up one-to-one, head up. But you can really tell, I think, he's got some room there. I didn't think he had room to plant that gateway at the front. I was going to say, you can tell he's not as comfortable doing a standard like Forge Fast expand as he is like a Forge freaking Cannon Rush, because it looked like, just looking at the front of this right here, it looks a little kind of funny. It doesn't look like, it doesn't look quite as tight or as well put together as you tend to see whenever pros do this kind of a build, but actually does look pretty solid. So I'll shut my big fat trap, and while WBC gets his expansion up, and Sanus, he's got that second hatchery about halfway done too. So we're actually gonna get to see a mid game, and dare I say, a late game.
Oh yeah, and CWBC coming into the main right now, being chased by those little Zerglings right there. I definitely think that Sanus is still worried that there could be some sort of happenings going on with that, but at the same time, I think WBC just wants to get a look at that base, see what's actually going to go down in there, because that is the last thing you need is somebody with the skill level that Sanus has. Being so far ahead of you base wise, and then just absolutely dominating.
Oh, he's actually going to take that third. He's taking that third up front now. But no, you're exactly right. Against a player like Sanus, who is just an excellent macro player, and again, he sometimes players just get the way some units interact together. And Sanus is one of those guys. I swear we have casted some of the best players in North American gaming. Players from Complexity Cruncher being one of them. Star Life, RSVP, Spanishiwa, a guy we interviewed and we know very, very well. We've seen some really truly top level play out of some of the best players in North America. I don't know too many players who get the way Roaches work against Protoss the way Sanus does. He just gets it, man.
Yeah, he understands the units of his army, and that is exactly what you need. You need to understand the units, not how they're made or what they hard counter, but exactly how to use them and exactly when to utilize them. Right. And that is a rare skill, and that is exactly.
It's one of those intangibles. And again, it's like, well, duh, it's just a roach. You just make a bunch of them and go A move. Well, yeah. If you're that far ahead of your opponent, you can just go, well, I've got 20 more roaches than you do anything on the map, so yeah, I'll just go A move. But Sanus, I can't count the number of times that we've casted him, and we'll be like in a 30-minute matchup, And he'll be, there'll be base trades, there'll be all kinds of madness going on, and you'll see like what looks to be a little tiny roach force run into something like 4 or 5 Colossus and Blink Stalkers, and you're like, oh well, looks like Sanus is going to be, and then you take a breath and blink your eyes, and Sanus somehow has 20 roaches left, and there's nothing but dead and broken Protoss body parts laying around, and he just gets how to use them, how to control them. He breaks them into subgroups. We've seen that. He loves to attack at an angle. If there's a big engagement about to go down, he'll break his gigantic roach ball into about 3, 4, 5 different control groups and get them at the right angle for the right surround, and he's just a really top-tier player.
Oh yeah, and it's just one of those things that it's just from time and time again competing in these tournaments and just laddering up like the Dickens that you can really obtain those kind of skills, more or less, or that knowledge of the game and the knowledge of that for someone like me who just really is still trying to learn Terran, really for the most part. It's always nice to watch pro level players play. We just see a little bit of an engagement here in the middle of the in the middle of the map there. Those roaches and Zergling stack just running everybody around, and we see that
little bit of a fracas there. A little bit of a fracas.
Yeah, little fracas going on there. Trying to follow the Yellow Brick Road there. And you see more roaches just hobbling right on over because they are part of the Lollipop Guild.
Oh, yeah, and Santa's definitely taking control here, running up the WBC and saying, stay out of the Walsworth, making sure that he keeps them away from the Xel'Naga Tower there. So saying, hey, I'm a Dapper Dan, man. I like things slick with that creep. The aroma's half the point. So the appealing aroma's half the point, if I'm quoting that movie correctly, but... anyway, WBC moved out, turned away once, now moving out with a slightly stronger force, and Sanus, though, getting a little bit of a flank here. If he can use these Zerglings right, he could really do some damage, but the Zealot count here for WBC, just a little too high, I think, to really warrant a direct engagement, so Sanus wisely pulling back home.
Oh yeah, right there, and you see him now taking the other route, trying to get into that third, taking down that one spy caller, and great force fields there, locking off that entire army of Sanus. He's having to go right back through, and those Zerglings trying to scatter around, trying to get a good surround. Lots of things dropping down right there, and very good job there. The target firing things down, and more shields going off, protecting. And now the Guardian shield goes up to really protect that army from those gosh darn roaches. The disadvantage that WBC is at right now is that that Sanus is still on his creep, so those roaches are moving at a full tilt. They're not having to hobble around.
And he's rallying in very fast. And a little subtle thing that I think deserves a mention here, and it's actually Sanus. Again, look at this. Is it just me? Am I just blind? It didn't look like Sanus was in a GG moment there, but it looked like he was actually kind of behind WBC with those great force fields going off and everything. And, it looked like he might maybe lose this third, or at least he was going to take some considerable damage, and all of a sudden it's just like, no, actually, I've still got a bunch of roaches and Zerglings left, and WBC has no army. How does that happen, man?
Yeah, that's as Muhammad Ali would say, that right there is a rope-a-dope.
Yeah, exactly. And Sanus just does that. And again, what I was going to say, a subtle little thing that Sanus did there that I think really helped make a difference. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Looks like WBC looking to engage again, moving back out with a handful of Zealots and a few Stalkers here. Trying to chase Sanus all the way back. Sanus, he's just going to get away and run back home. But when Sanus rushed in to try and engage there, he rushed the Zerglings in second, which is pretty standard. But he actually took a non-standard attack path and looped them around to where the Stalkers were in the back while the Zealots chased after the Roaches. And he was able to pick off 3 or 4 free Stalkers with some Zerglings that would have otherwise died very quickly to Sideblades. So just a good example of what I mean when I say TQ Sanus. I said he just gets roach play against Protoss. I think he just gets ZVP.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where people can be really good at their army, but you always talk to somebody they're like, oh, ZVP is like my worst matchup, or TVZ or whatever,
Protoss, etc.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, that kind of thing. It's always weird to see what people do really great against and what people just have no idea what to do against. And we see that the Warp Prism fully loaded right now with those 4. With 2 Zealots, 1 Stalker, and a Sentry moving up into that 12 that 1 o'clock position, and then hard queued down to come into the back of the natural. So he is definitely looking to do some sort of economic damage here and really inhibit what Sanus is doing.
Oh yeah, Sanus going to be able to react quite quickly though. He's got a gigantic Zergling count. Let's see, 24. 48, 72. Yeah, he's got a gorillion friggin' Zerglings, man. He's got like 73 Zerglings, I think. Let's check the units. 77, actually, so I was close.
And 24 more on the way.
Wow. Well, here comes the Warp Prism. Yep, he's going to spot that. And only a handful of units. Got to get that open and see if he's going to warp something in. Oh, yeah, quick reaction time. Looks like WBC not even really going to get maybe more than 1 or 2 drones. The Queen going to be able to chase that away and keep it away air-wise as well. And Sanus looks like he's ready to push. You don't see a Zerg player get this many Zerglings and dedicate this much to army building unless he wants to push and try to go win right now. It's just, at the 15-minute mark, you're usually going to see Zergs much more dedicated. Oh, Baneling's on the way. So 15 Baneling's going to try and deal with this high Zealot count of WBC. Not terribly high, actually. He kind of stopped. The Zealots made up a lot of that early composition when he pushed back out after that initial.
Oh, we do see the drop digger down in the main there, right back there, and forcing Sanus to come all the way back there, take out what he can, and more units warping in right now. Great job there by Sanus trying to keep that in. And of course, the Queen's doing what they can to snipe down that warp prism, and that is the end of that little incursion there into the main. But great job there by Sanus.
Is what we're going to see. We see all these overlords hovering over this army here for Sanus, and it looks like, I can't click on his hotkey, but I guarantee he's got those overlords. And look now, WBC using a high sentry count. And he's using that so he can force field off that ramp. And he actually managed to take out that third while that was going on. So continuing to force field that natural ramp there and keep Sanus' army all the way back. So great usage there of WBC. WBC flexing his muscle, saying, hey, I like the cheese. I like the, to go for that quick early aggression strat sort of a build. But, hey, I can also load up and, and do some pretty good strategery on my own. So, but yeah, and he's actually not. He's not going to be dropping the whole army. He's going to be dropping nothing but Banelings. So some Baneling bombs on the way.
Oh yeah, this is going to be absolutely devastating here if you can land these just right in the middle of that army. Especially with those immortals kind of hanging out to the center, and I think WBC sees it coming as he's trying to take down as many of those overlords, but he's just going to go ahead and bypass most of the army there.
Oh yeah,
try to cut them off in the pass
now
and really doing what he can. Oh, here comes the drop, possibly. Oh, boom, 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 boom. Right there,
just going off entirely. The siege of Bologna here. The bombing pass going to be considered quite a success, and now Sanus seems to be quite in the lead. That Stalker count, yeah, without a doubt, I don't know. And WBC may be able to hold the ramp back at his natural. Definitely going to lose this third. But right now, Sanus just looks to be a little bit too strong. Actually, he's pulling back. So it looks like he's not going to try and force the issue right now. That is quite a high roach count, though, but no upgrades on them. That's why. Sanus, uncharacteristically, not really being the best with his upgrades. Usually, Sanus is right on top of that.
Yeah, usually he's right there, and he fell behind really quickly when those overlords kept getting sniped down. And that's one thing. If you're gonna do that, make sure you're into mass producing overlords as quickly as possible, because unfortunately he is now having to use those that transfusion to try to heal those back up. He's going to go in for another drop. He's got to be making some more of these overloads, because if he loses any more, he's going to be supply blocked again, and that is definitely not where you want to be when you're trying to resupply.
That's a high Stalker count. 24 Stalkers going to try and move in and do this. They do have blink, so they're going to blink back from the Zerglings and make sure that they can't allow those to get a good surround. Looks like Sanus, though, nope. Actually, I was going to say it looked like he wanted to force the issue. Was going to chase him all the way back to the ramp. But right now, Sanus is going to be falling behind in tech if he doesn't do something quick. The first Colossus on the way, and that the extended thermal lance about halfway done. So Sanus is going to have to make something happen real soon. Otherwise, as soon as those Colossus come out, he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah, and at the same time, Sanus is spreading that creep like a fiend, just throwing it down as wherever it can. Those Stalkers coming back in again, taking us some more of those roaches, blinking back, and really causing Sanus a little bit of a minor headache here as all of his aggression plans being kind of thwarted by those stupid blink Stalkers as they bounce back and forth. Like they were some sort of,
here when they blink right underneath the Overlords, so there go the Banelings, and those Banelings going to do a good amount of damage, not doing a ton of damage, though, not as much as you would think. It looked like he landed those right about in the heart of the Stalkers, and I think Sanus is probably a little bit surprised at that as well. I mean, it wasn't an absolute crap ton of Banelings. It was probably, 16 or so. And he really had a chance to drop those right in the heart of the Stalker ball. And yes, Stalkers are not particularly weak against Banelings, but I would have expected a bit more damage be done. Sanis is actually supply block now. He's leading in supply to WBC, just barely. Now chasing them all the way back, so that fresh hatch of Zergling's able to force his opponent back, but just, and again, as much as we've seen Sanis, this is how his games seem to play out a lot. So much back and forth action, you'll get motion sickness.
Oh yeah, it's like watching a tennis match at Wimbledon. You really got to keep flipping back and forth, and you see that WBC pulling back now, having to destroy a couple of these pylons there to get that other Colossus out. Why you didn't just walk? Well, I guess he can't walk it around, can he? With that.
Well, he had one out. He had one out already. So
yeah, the other one was locked in there by the pylon, so we did have to kind of cripple one to get it out. Well, that's what you're really going to be. Aware of when you're doing something like that.
Right now,
and you see him going for that natural.
It's just in a lot of trouble. He's way behind in tech. The Colossus do have the extended thermal lance, so they're going to be able to sit back while the Stalkers blink around. And needs to pull that one Colossus back. He's going to lose one at least, so a little bit of miss micro there by WBC. But just watch Sanis' supply plummet. All those roaches going to be dead. Here very, very shortly. WBC just exploding outwards as soon as he caught him. And there we go, the GG from Sanis. Sanis loses that second matchup, so going to be 1-1 here in this best-of-5 series here at the IG Omega Divisional number 8, brought to you by itsgosu.com.
You're absolutely right, AC. Go to itsgosu.com, see all the great news that we have going on. Of course, all of our tournaments, basically almost every day of the week. And if not, it's just because we just need a day off to let the voice rest a little bit, or if we're getting ready for some other major event. As you probably noticed, we did not have a beta or an alpha this week because we do have the Omega Cup coming in on Friday, and of course we have the LAN event coming up on Saturday. So it's going to be a huge weekend for us, and then back into the King of the Hill next Sunday. For the Memorial Day weekend. This is a huge weekend.
Oh, yeah. Once again, this is the IG Omega Divisional number 8, brought to you by itsgosu.com. I'm AC, that's Red Mage JR, and it's a pleasure to have you here with us, folks, either be it in the Justin TV stream or in the BattleNet chat. Absolutely my pleasure to be here with you, and I know Red Mage feels the same as well, as getting that game set up for Game 3. So tied up 1-1 here in the finals of IG Omega Divisional number 8. TQ Sanis and 1 WBC. Some really strong games so far. And really, I think the problem there is Sanis really missed his timing. He didn't hit the timing right so far as if and when he should have attacked. And then he got caught in a pretty poor position on the tech switch. So either way, tied up, and Sanis really, though, it's kind of tit for tat. WBC just kind of seemed to have Sanis' number that time around. And Sanis really just sniffed out perfectly what WBC was trying to pull early on in that Game 1. So zooming into the map, going to be heading to MLG Metalopolis. And, this is going to be fun. I love ZVP. I know that's your favorite matchup. I love it too. But with these players in particular, just the way that their play styles match up makes it such a fun matchup to watch.
Oh, yeah, of course, I like it for a completely different reason than most anybody else. I like looking at the pretty portraits. So as we get the ready check and the players are ready to go, and these two competitors, as aggressive as they are on both sides, it's very hard for me to have the reality that I'm going to see my favorite unit, the Nidus Worms, and the motherships. But that's okay, with these two guys, it's great to just see some high quality gameplay right there, and. It was interesting with Sanis making that many banelings and doing the drop. It was almost like the other day. I forget who we were watching. 85 with 85 banelings or something like that.
Oh yeah.
On the field, that was just an absolutely ridiculous amount of banelings running all over the place, just exploding things everywhere. Just absolutely horrendous. And we're going to see some pretty good aggression here, probably out of WBC, because they are on the close air. Of course, on the MLG Metalopolis, you either get close air or cross spawn positions. So
right.
This is going to play into WBC's playstyle pretty well, as he sees that the probe is going to move over there and see that Overlord, so he's going to know right off the bat that is going to be the case. So we'll see if WBC is going to try to do a quick cannon rush, or if he's going to try to do some sort of proxy gateway action or something.
Right.
We always know that he does tend to favor those overly aggressive play styles right off the bat.
Oh yeah, well, and again, for anybody else should say, oh yeah, it's overly aggressive, it's all in. WBC, he makes it work though. He does it so much that it's almost just a standard style of play. I mean, and as we saw in that last game, just because he does that, he's not one of those guys who's like, oh, he's a grandmaster level player. Oh, he just cannon rushes all the time. No, he's pretty damn good at the mid and late game too. So, managed to take down TQ Sanis on Shakuris Plateau, a map which is in particular pretty friendly to Zerg. So, Sanis though, not a guy to sleep on. He's been here a lot of times. This is his. To my knowledge, unless I'm miscounting, this is his third time in our Omega, or the finals of one of our Omega divisionals, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the third time he's in the finals, and I think he's participated in at least the last 4 or 5 of them. So
right,
yeah, he's batting a pretty good average there for being in the finals there. And Sanis trying to keep an eye on that natural there, make sure he can try to get it. He is going for the pool first, so that way he can try to defeat any sort of pesky pylons that are going to be thrown in there to thwart his expansion. And WBC just making sure his probe presence is known at all times. He just keeps throwing them in there to make Sanis sweat just a little bit, forcing him to make those 2 Zerglings to keep him away.
Right. Well, it looks like WBC's actually doing something we've seen very little out of him, and not just tonight, but in general. He's going with a standard opening, gateway, cybernetics core. Don't know what he's going to do after that, but the fact that he didn't open up by throwing down 3 pylons in the middle of his opponent's friggin' base is kind of abnormal for him.
Yeah, and we saw him take just one of the gold minerals right now, just because. Because
why not?
As a way to say that WBC was here.
Exactly. So
now you're going to get 1 less.
That reminds me so much of one of the funnier pictures I've ever seen on Cella's stream, and I'm sure there are some people in the chat right now that love to watch Cella stream. And it made the rounds on Reddit. Somebody took a screenshot of it. He ran up to a Terran opponent's base, and he had pulled a drone that had some minerals in his hands, and he danced around the outside. Then he typed in the chat. It's like he said friend, and then he waited for the opponent to write a question mark back. He goes, "I bring gift. Let me in, please." So just so adorable. So adorable.
Nice. That's hilarious.
So that hatch now about 3/4 of the way done for Sanis. And again, I'm a little dumbfounded at the fact that we're actually going to see somewhat of a standard opening here out of WBC. I'm not sure exactly what to expect. Yeah, he's just going to actually get 3 gates. He fakes 3 gate a lot. He fakes 3 gate into a lot of DT play and all that fun stuff. But it looks like he's actually going to be using it as he should, just to get some sentries and try to get an expansion down.
Absolutely ridiculous. I never would have thought that WBC would have done a standard game, being at the tied 1-1. I could have seen him, doing it if it was 2-2 or 2-1.
Right.
But when he's just tied up, I was really expecting him to go for a fast game here. I guarantee you that if Sanis does end up taking this game, making it 2-1 in his favor, WBC will go right back in for that overly aggressive negotiation there.
Oh yeah.
And try to put a lot of pressure on Sanis very, very early. But now it just seems that he wants to get that quick and early, or not really quick and early, but the quick and early nexus there, and play in for kind of not really a long game, but enough of a game to really make Sanis have to work for the win.
Right, exactly. And WBC again, he's especially if for my chance, if this is your first chance really experiencing him in this stream tonight, I wouldn't blame you a bit by going, oh, he's just a cheesy bastard, because he is a cheesy bastard. We know him very well. We cast him a lot, but he is not weak at all in the mid or late game. I mean, he's a guy who can compete at the highest level. He's going to be at MLG Columbus along with 8 other members of All for One Gaming. So on one of the better teams in North America, and a very well-respected player on that team as well. So a guy who really knows how to do it all. He just really favors I guess you could even call it a Korean style of, you know what, if you're going to give it to me, I'm going to find out if you can defend these hyper-aggressive early builds. If you can't, I'm going to beat you every single time.
Yep, and that's that's really the best way to put it there, is because if you can't win against those really aggressive builds, then really you kind of have to put the big boy pants on and nut up or shut up.
Yep. So WBC walking down the alleyway there, trying to put. Oh, now a lot of these speedlings going to be able to get us around, and those roaches are going to be able to catch them from the south flank as well. So some great force fields, really all it's saving WBC. He's in real danger of losing this entire force. Just great control and great strategy here by Sanus. Just really using a little bit of a feint and mix, keeping one little pack of roaches back just so he could do that. Now, all of a sudden, WBC is only going to have 2 cannons and a handful of sentries, one zealot and one stalker to try and defend. I think this is going to be enough to hold, but really just lost so much by losing that early army so easily.
Oh yeah, now all Sanus really has to do is just try to take down a couple of those pylons and run right into that main a little bit. And right now you see we lost that one cannon, and now the second one's going down right now, and the pylons are being destroyed right now all around. Gonna try to block, and there's WBC getting the GG right there. Nice for Sanus, taking it 2-1 against WBC.
And WBC at this point, you know what's going through his head. That's one of the. It's like the only game tonight, at least that we've seen since we've been casting this evening, or casting him, where he did something standard. And what happened? He got GG'd pretty kind of dirtily. I mean, when I say dirtily, not that Sanus did something dirty, but it was just kind of ugly, man. I mean, call it what it is.
It was not pretty whatsoever. It's exactly it's what they would call the coyote ugly, where you have to you wake up the next morning and you just have to chew your own arm off, as opposed to buy breakfast for the person laying next to you, because it's just that bad. But yeah, that's exactly what happened to WBC. He tried to play a standard play, which is a little bit off for him. And it definitely cost him. Sanus was right on top of exactly what he had to do, and he used every advantage that he had.
Yep. All right, guys, we're 1 game away now. 1 game away from possibly declaring a champion. So I'm going to announce it one more time while Red Mage sets up this next game between TQ Sanus and 1WBC. We're doing that contest tonight, giving away some very rare, very tough to come by Magic cards. We're giving away $1,000 worth. Not tonight. We're giving away 2 packs tonight, so about, depending on the wholesale price of those is $15. So we're giving away, we'll go with the low end. We'll lowball it about $30 worth to all the guys and gals hanging out in the stream with us. And the rules are very simple. Red Mage and I make movie references. You jot those down as you think you know what they are. And then once you have at least 3, you pop an email to contest@itsgosu.com. You do have to be a follower of us on Justin TV, so make sure you go and hit that follow button now. And pop us that email. Then of all those who named 3 of the movies we've referenced this evening, we're going to randomly choose 2 of them, and they're going to receive, courtesy of itsgosu.com, and of course courtesy of Sanyama Bushu Jujutsu and Combination Goju Ryu School of Self-Defense, those Magic cards. So make sure we're heading into the last game, Red Mage, so we got to turn it up a notch just to make sure, for those who may have joined us late, or those maybe who are just getting into the stream, or or watching this on VOD. By the way, those who are maybe just joining us, you're not out of the running or anything just because you're a little late to the party. You can watch this on the VODs. This is going to be active. You are going to have a chance to win so long as you get the email to us by 3 a.m. May 26th. So that would be midnight Pacific Standard Time, May 24th/May 25th. So you still got, by my clock, 5 hours from the moment I'm saying this live. So you've got quite a bit of time. Just make sure you get it to us by 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow morning, which would be May the 26th. And if you do, you're going to be entered in to win. So we got to try and throw in at least a handful here, just in case this might be our last game.
Oh yeah, we are up to 12 right now. So if you've missed those many, yeah, we'll try to throw in what we can coming up. But yeah, absolutely. And these cards, if you're a big Magic fan, they're part of the Planeswalker series. They were a limited edition purchase that you could only get at the 2010 New York Comic Convention. They are super slick. They don't have any of the Magic the Gathering Planeswalker wordage on there. They just strictly have just the picture with the box, and then of course they've got the cellophane wrap on there, and so that way you know that they are the 100% promo items that you can only get at the certain events. So they are pretty slick. Oh yeah. And again, I like them because they have lots of pretty pictures in the front of them.
Well, the thing is, even if you're not a Magic fan, these are not worthless cards. Again, the wholesale value of these is $15. That's not retail. For those who maybe aren't up on the slang or the verbiage involved, wholesale means what people who sell them in shops buy them for. People who, like, if you were to get a hold of one, you should have no problem, I would think, getting $20-$30 maybe if you're very lucky, but at least 15 to 20 without a doubt by putting them on eBay. And again, you're not paying a cent for this; doesn't cost you anything. All you need is a Justin TV account to follow us, and then you just need to have a good ear for movie references and pop that email to us sometime in the next few hours, and you've got a chance to win. And you can seriously look at that as just a 20 spot in your pocket, pretty much. So even if you're not into the game, I played for a while, but
somebody is somebody is
exactly. You can find somebody. I mean, come on, if you're listening to this stream, you're part of that special nerd culture who hangs out on Team Liquid and everything. You know somebody who loves Magic. You have to, and again, even if not, even if you're a forever alone kind of a guy, stick them on eBay. Get enough money for a case of beer or something.
The email to send in those guesses along with your Justin TV ID is contest@itsgosu.com. So
yes,
I hit
the email, but I forgot to mention the info you need to include in the email to enter is very simple. We need your Justin TV ID or name tag or however you want to identify it. Just what your sign-in name, the name that you're represented as when you chat in the chat in Justin TV. We need that so we can confirm that you're a follower, and then we just need your best 3 guesses as to 3 movies that we've referenced tonight. We're going to be giving away 2 packs, so make sure you get those to us by 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, midnight Pacific Standard Time. All right, jumping into the action here. This could be potentially our final game. TQ Santa's leading this best-of-5 series 2-1 over 1WBC. TQ Santa spawning in his typical orange at the top right here on Zelmaga Caverns, and WBC spawning down the bottom left in his trademark yellow. Roughly that 7 o'clock position. So WBC's got to kind of, I wouldn't say be kicking himself, but given how much success he's had all the way through the tournament this evening so far as using some, I guess you'd call non-standard or hyper-aggressive builds, cannon rushes aplenty. He went for something standard, and again, not to try and insult the guy, he's an amazing player, but he kind of got his ass rolled a little bit.
Yeah, he did. He, unfortunately, he does not get the coffee because, of course, coffee is for closers. And if Santos wins this one, he's going to close out this event 3-1, right. And that's definitely not what you don't. That's definitely what you don't want to be in this kind of situation. Right now, you see him; he's just kind of messing around with that probe right there. So he's probably not going to be doing any of that weird aggression because he hasn't moved another probe up yet to really do anything. Oh, yeah. And he's fighting with Sanus's drone back in his own base, and right now see him putting the gateway and the chrono the cybernetics core, doing a standard wall in. So this could be dangerous with him doing a standard build up here in this